be doing a binder challenge. All I need is a challenger, and we'll go over a bit of the rules, and I'll do a little bit of an overview of what we've got to work with. Basically, we're just running it with my personal collection of some of the, well,
we also need viewers.
The oldest set in the game. So,
you might have to repeat that. There's nobody in here yet. Well, it says nobody. There's 0.
So it's basically what we've got is what we got. And I'll flip this around. I made some additions since last time we've done this to help things run a little smoother. Last time we did only cards printed in 1993, so that's Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, and Arabian Nights. This time around, there was some interest suggested that we could include antiquities as well. I'm perfectly fine with that. We could even include legends if that's that will take a little bit more of sleeving things because I didn't prep that section quite yet. But
we just need somebody.
Yeah, well, there's that. But in any case,
that's what happens when I'm so late getting the stream up. I'm sorry.
Well, that's part of it too. Anyway.
Oh, why is it at night I always smell smoke?
So again, this is mainly the stuff we had here last time. This is the rest of the lands and Hill Giant. Then we're into red. Nothing new on this page, I don't believe. End of the red. I did add a Howl of Beyond as a combat trick for black. I was glad to find a copy of that in beta that wasn't too expensive, so chance to increase my collection a little bit. I don't believe I had the Scathe Zombie yet either. This is my first alpha creature. So we got the good old quote from the Rime of the Ancient Mariners, and a classic creature in what became a tribe. In Alpha, all there was for this tribe was the Scathe Zombie itself at common, and then the rare Zombie Master. So it wasn't doing a whole lot then, although I did know people who played it. Well, I didn't play in Alpha. I started playing when Revised was just wrapped up and 4th edition and Ice Age were launched. So that's what our core collection was based around, and then I tried to trade for older stuff whenever I could, which is why I've got a very sparse smattering of older things. I grew up in a small town, and opportunities to grab things were pretty limited, to be honest. But I always kept an eye out for it, because it was
nice binder colors.
I enjoyed. I like it. It's, I don't know, the sort of, what do you call that?
Teal.
Aqua, teal. Find it works well for a lot of things and is definitely different from a lot of my other binders. This page, don't think there was anything new here either. Paralyze was a recent addition. It wasn't the most recent, but it's a nice little creature control spell, and it can even be used in a little tricky combo if you find the right pieces.
Question is, do we have a challenger?
That's the part of the question for sure. There are a couple people watching. Anybody up to build a 40-card deck out of this binder? And then I will build one in response. We can play against each other. The rule we used for the Moxes last time, because these are collector's edition, they're not technically usable, but we allowed them last time so long as you were actually playing that color. You couldn't just come and scoop them all. If you were playing, a red-white deck, and none of these are red and white, so you have to actually be playing the color to grab the Mox for that color. That's the only restriction on those, again, since they're the only 3 collector's edition cards in this binder. So, some artifacts. Green, I noticed last time was lacking. Like, we had a lot of creatures that were sort of giant spider, war mammoth type size, and then it just sort of petered out. So I did grab the common crawworm, just so it would have something a little bit bigger on the curve as an option, and a regrowth, which is just a classic old school card which can be very handy to use with other things green has, like Berserk, or to enhance whatever other color you're probably pairing with. White. Last time we did this, I only had 4 white cards in the Alpha Beta Unlimited section. So I doubled the amount of white available by adding the combat trick, basically, of a Death Ward, keep a creature alive, and some more banding with Beneless Hero. White Knight is an efficient creature for this time, and also works really nice with banding, especially if you're playing against black. Black can be troublesome. I also gave him a decent-sized threat in Personal Incarnation. This was one of the first rares I ever owned. Mine was a 4th edition version, and it's a surprisingly efficient beat stick. A little bit risky to play, especially against black, but definitely can get the job done at a 6/6 for 6, which definitely a little above rate for the most part. And we're into the Arabian Nights. The newest addition on here was I finally picked up an Arabian Curd Ape. I always used to love Curd Apes. I ran a playset of them, but my playset was from Revised, so I never had an original Curd Ape until a couple months ago. I also grabbed an Raider, another card that I used in the early days quite often. If you're looking for aggressive black, that's a good creature. You can drop that on turn 2. I've even dropped it on turn 1 with a Dark Ritual and an Unholy Strength to drop a 4/4 on turn 1. That can put a lot of pressure on. Blue is short on creatures, and it's a more defensive color. So I grabbed a giant tortoise to add to the binder to give it a little more options for just getting set up, surviving the early game, basically. It's a fairly, I wouldn't say efficient, but reasonable rate for a defensive 2-drop for a 1/4 on defense. Can buy you some time, basically. Then we're into the Antiquities. We didn't use this last time, but if we're doing this time, then these would be all new pieces to put into the puzzle. For a defensive card drawing type deck, an Ivory Tower can be very nice. Artifact removal, it's expensive, but it can get the job done. Same thing with Tuanhos's Coffin.
Okay, something's kind of funny. I looked really quickly and
40 card decks. This one can save your butt if you're going to run out of cards.
I just looked once really briefly and really quick, but when I did that looked like Simba.
Simba.
Yeah, from the Lion King. And the picture, it looked like Simba because I just took a quick glance and I looked away and I was like,
I have not heard that comparison before.
It's because, okay, it doesn't look like Simba, but if you're looking really quick and looking away and you go to take a second look, it kind of does.
More artifact creatures. Again, from back in my 4th edition days, both the Ocean Soldier and the Ornithopter were well known, played a lot. Clay Statue, even the Regenerate, can be very handy. Primal Clay is interesting because it gives you options. The Candelabra is a bit of a combo piece. You need some other worthwhile lands to use it with. There's a few options to do, but whether that'll be enough to put in a deck to make it worthwhile, well, that's up to you to try. Or me, depending on how things go.
I don't know if anyone wants to challenge you.
I don't know either. We've got, Dampening Field. Can't untap more than one artifact during their owner's untap phase. Probably only useful if your opponent goes very heavy artifacts, but hard to say. Antiquities. This is one of the best things about Antiquities. The Vicious Factories, an artifact manland. The first one they came out with, a land that can become a creature. Very, very useful. Dodges any sort of non-instant speed removal in most cases. Quite interesting. Good way to get more use out of a single-use artifact. Strip mine, take care of any troublesome lands like the factory or the Library of Alexandria or Even if your opponent's short on a color, it can be quite handy. These are all anti-artifact green creature and spells. For red, we got the classic ATOG, Detonate. We got some Urza's lands. There are at least 2 of each. I think I've got a 3rd copy of the power plant. So technically there are 2, 3, and 2 available, and you need 1 of each in play in order to get the real benefit out of them. But in a 40-card deck, that might be enough to make them worth a try if you're doing an artifact-heavy build. If we go to Legends, we've got the 5 legendary uncommon lands. Most of them provide nice benefits that are be useful at some point. Sword of the Ages, Ring of Immortals, blue picks up Force Spike is another counterspell option. Mana Drain is a fantastic counterspell option. Boomerang, Enchantment Alteration, even Psychic Purge. There's a few copies of it. It's only 1 damage instant, but it can be useful if your opponent pulls Wheel of Fortune or something. If it's in your hand, it can be a nasty surprise to them. For black, we've got the Chains, again, anti-card drawing type card. A couple of interesting creatures. Wall of Shadows can be very annoying. Little 1-drop flyer in the Vampire Bats. White has got some tactical cards. Greater Realm of Preservation if your opponent happens to be playing heavy black-red. Both of which have pretty good options in this binder. Presence of the Master can help lock out enchantments if your opponent's got an enchantment heavy theme deck going. Then for green, we've got Eureka. If you've got a lot of big creatures, which this binder is a little thin on. Like I said, the Personal Incarnation is the biggest one that we've seen to date, but Legends itself does add a few to the mix. So basically the biggest creatures that are going to be available are in the sort of 5/5, 6/6 range. So Eureka is not as powerful here as it could be, but still, it's possible to get good work out of it. Void Fate, very annoying card. A couple more creature drop options. Again, another protection from black. Can be quite situationally good. Floral Spasm. More artifact removal. Red. The main advantage red gets here, I think, is the Chain Lightnings. There's a couple of other creature options. I've gotten used out of Giant Strength in the past. If you've got a good creature that you want to make even
Not
better.
today, Lucas. Go to bed.
But I think the Chain Lightnings are the biggest pickup that red has for options out of adding Legends. We've got a selection of creatures here for multicolors, and some of them are pretty big. Bartel's a 6/5. Attacking doesn't cost a tap. I always have trouble pronouncing Livonia Silone. 4/4 first strike, legendary land walk. Zero Arian can be a card drawing engine. Rasputin Dreamweaver can ramp your mana. Gwendolyn's great for card advantage. And Riven. Okay, this is another recent addition. The flavor text is unfortunate just now, so we're not going to get into that. But basically, this is the biggest mana dork creature that they've made, as far as I know. Normally, a creature that you can tap to add a mana only costs you 1 or 2 to put out. This costs 7, and it's a 5/7. So it's a big body. It's one of the bigger bodies in the binder. But that tap for a mana ability just doesn't really fit the what it is. So there's that. And that's the end of the Legends section. So like I said, we don't need to use Legends, but it's an option, either today or on a future date. It was suggested that we try adding Antiquities into the mix along with the Alpha, Beta, and Arabian. But first of all, I need somebody who wants to challenge me. So, who wants to try to build a deck? I just reviewed what's in here. And again, there are a few cards that have more than 4 copies. So,
I think they're all scared to play you.
40 cards is a pretty small deck. Usually you build a 60 card deck, but we've got limited availability here. A little bit restricted on the basic lands. I don't think you could do a monocolor deck unless you went heavy artifacts with like the Urza's lands or something to complement. You might get away with it then. But yeah, because it's only 40 card decks, we're going to cap copies of an individual card. If there are more than 3 copies, it's going to be capped at 3. So the first example I can see of that is I do have 4 sinkholes, but if you want to run sinkholes, 3 is the limit for 40 card decks, just so that we don't overdo it.
I know some people are wondering about the Spider-Man set. We were not able to get anywhere to find any yet.
No, we did not.
I could have taken a drive, but
would have been unlikely to succeed anyway.
They might have had some in the next town, but
yeah. I was going through my reminiscences today, thinking of my collection and how I picked up different ones over the years in different locations. We passed through some of those locations during our travels this summer, and this one in particular came to mind. Out of all my card collecting history, this was my single biggest priced purchase ever. For a sealed product, single card, single whatever, this is the card that, or the item of any sort that I've ever spent the most on.
What did you pay for that one again?
This one, at the time, I paid $700 for this.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest single purchase I've ever made was for this card, and that was back around probably fall of 2004.
We haven't even bought anything for like on a single thing for Pokemon either, and we came close with those. We bought 2 of the celebration things.
UPCs. Yeah, those were $500 a pop when we paid for them.
We opened one.
We've bought several things now at $400. $400 used to be my absolute cap for a booster box. That's what we paid for the Italian Legends boxes back in, over a decade ago. But now that's sort of been
especially Pokemon,
blown out of the water by everything is just nuts now. So, but this was my biggest purchase, and it's not my most valuable card, I don't think. But
what's your most valuable one?
Probably the Lotus, despite its condition, sadly. Like, this is definitely heavily played. Like, the Lotus is damaged, but it's still a Lotus. And Time Walk has never been the most valuable of the Power 9, not by a long shot. So, although it's been shuffled closer to the bottom recently, I think, because of just Time Twister going nuts.
You've had some pretty good luck with pickups, though.
But yeah, that one I picked up specifically as a compliment to the Ancestral, which I traded for. So that was my first one of the Power 9, and so that was my second to go with it. And I just thought that would be... That was always sort of my favorite, in theory, when I was a kid, and just looking at all those cards that I never expected to get a chance to own one of. And when I saw it was sitting in the store that I used to frequent near Ottawa and Orleans for weeks, maybe months at that point, it was just gnawing at me, and I figured I'd jump on the opportunity when I had it. I'd just come off a summer of, well, actually close to a year preparing to go back to university in the fall. And I had a little available, and no other major commitments at the time, so that was that was the peak of my spending in terms of single item value. So yeah, nobody's interested, eh? Nobody.
No, we needed better planning.
We should have. Yeah, we should have had somebody to lined up in advance.
Your brother, you call your brother up. Hey, he'd probably be like, I know, I gotta work.
Well,
short notice, not such a good plan.
I suppose not. I'm trying to think what the other thing I had in mind was as an option.
I'm interested. Ooh,
okay. Wow. Well, absolutely game for that if you'd like. Do you have a color in mind to get started? Founder?
What are my choices?
Anything in the binder. So the 5 main colors are black, red, blue, white, and green. And I've got enough basic land for 2-color deck, 3-color deck. Like I said, a 1 color would be a stretch, but usually you're looking for a combination of 2 colors. And then whatever else is in the binder you can grab.
Green.
Green?
Just green or another color?
Oh, we can start with green and then she can add to it if she wants. So I'll start by grabbing out some of the lands for green. How many do we have here?
Abram has an evil laugh going on downstairs. I have no idea what's going on.
We got 8 forests to start. If you want that many, you don't have to use them all. So we'll flip over to the green section here if we want to start with that. So you got Ice Storm that can destroy a land. Berserk doubles the power of a creature as an instant until end of turn, but then the creature dies at end of turn. Giant Growth is a great combat trick. There's a grizzly bear. There's a few giant spiders. There's the war mammoth. Wall of Wood is a 1-cost 0/3 wall. Can buy you some time. Life Force is only good if you're playing against black specifically. So you can pay 2 green. It's an enchantment to put out, and then you can pay 2 green later to counter spell. You want the grizzly bear. I see that. We've got one of those. Wild Growth is interesting. It costs 1, and it's an enchant land, so if you got this on your first turn, you could tap your forest, put this on your forest, and then from then on, that forest taps as if it was 2 forests, basically. It gives you 2 green whenever you tap it. So this helps get your bigger creatures out faster. People usually preferred Lawnmower Elf, but I haven't tracked one down. Keep in mind, I know nothing, so your guidance is appreciated. Well, I would definitely recommend the 2 combat tricks for green. And the Wild Growth, because it likes, like I said, to ramp. That's what I would suggest. Again, all of a sudden in the middle of combat, your creature gets bigger. Very handy. And this one can give it trample and double its power. So this can be a game-finishing move, or it can be a surprise to take out a bigger creature. I've even used this on my opponent's creature if they're attacking me with something annoying with flying that I can't deal with. So I take double damage that turn, but then the creature dies and I don't have to worry about it in the future. Ice Storm, destroying a land, situational. Depends on how you want to build the deck. But yeah, I'd recommend the Wild Growth. Again, it helps you cast your bigger things faster. And then some amount of mid-sized creatures. The War Elephant, there are 2, and that's 3/3 trample for 4. Same cost as the spider. The spider is 2/4, so a little bit more defensive, and it can block creatures with flying. So the elephant's a little bit more offensive for attacking, and the spider is a little more defensive. There's 2 of each if you want any or all of those. The Wall of Wood, quick blocker. I'd say take it or leave it. I'd tend to... Ooh, thank you very much, Broly. That's nice. Always nice to get all, please. Okay. On the back part of the page here, there's the big creature that I added. The Crawworm. This is a 6/4. It's the biggest creature I've got for green here. What is... Anyway, there's a little something inside the sleeve, I think. Anyway, but yeah, I'd recommend this just because it's something for the higher end of the scale once the game gets going. That's a bigger threat. So, highly recommend that unless you decide you don't want to. And Regrowth, just to get back any of the cards you've already used. Very, very handy for only 2. And again, this could be used with something like the Berserk to, you know, if you Berserked this, which is already a 6/4, it would have 12 attack. If you then regrowth the Berserk and played it again, that would double it again to 24, which is enough to usually win the game.
I was downstairs, so I totally missed it.
Yeah, Broly, I said, Broly, thanks very much. That's was very nice of him. I didn't actually see him comment. I just saw the.
He
okay,
did,
there he is.
Flexing.
Definitely,
Flexing 8
yes.
months. Thank you for membership for 8 months.
And I forgot to scroll up. These are more interesting cards. Depends what the other person's going to be playing. But Camouflage, you rearrange your creatures face down so they can't see what they're going to block with. So it's just randomizes the blockers, basically. So just to mess with your opponent a bit. And then Tranquility is an anti-enchantment card. So it wouldn't work so well with the Wild Growth, but it can wipe the board of annoying enchantments if you're worried about ones your opponent might be playing. That's the main advantage to that. Definitely, yes, was the Crawworm, I think.
I'll pass on those.
Okay, pass on those. No problem. So, let's see what we're up to for that. So there were 8 lands there. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
Those surprise boxes
18
I ordered?
18 so far. That's almost half your deck.
It's saying they might be here Monday.
Okay.
Or earlier, who knows?
Artifacts. The green Mox, since you're playing green, you can grab. It's basically just an extra land, except because it's an artifact, you can play it plus your regular land per turn. The Black Lotus, instant mana boost, lets you cast a big spell much quicker. The Icy Manipulator can use defensively. All artifacts. Some of these actually aren't going to be that interesting for you. This is removal, which green lacks a little, so that's good.
Maybe she's trying to make sure that there's less for you to use.
Maybe. The Howling Mind lets both players draw a card.
Unless you say no.
So this is a bit of a double-edged sword. And but if you combo it with the Icy Manipulator, you can turn it off on my turn so that only you get to draw the extra card. So that's a bit of a combo if you get them both in play.
But it's remembering to do that, which I probably would forget.
The Time Vault is tricky. Basically, you need to skip a turn first before you can use it to gain a turn. So
she's letting you decide.
I think, especially with green, that's going to be hard to make good use of. But I do think the Mox is worth grabbing. I think you're going to need to pick a secondary color, most likely. So red. Red can combo nicely with green. It's quite aggressive. You get cards like Curdape, which get a bonus for having forests. Black is quite efficient. Here's Arabian Nights.
She said red.
Red, okay. We'll go back and revisit red in a minute. Unfortunately, the Ifbif Ifrit is another 4-drop, but I think it's the only green flying creature I have in this binder. So that might be worth grabbing on its own. just to have the option of having a flyer. It can be quite a threat too if your opponent doesn't have green, and since you've grabbed all the green, yeah, I won't have any.
Yes, please.
The wolf is interesting. It's only a 1/1 for 2, but you can tap it to give any creature in play +1/+1. So basically, you can use its activated ability to pump up one of your other creatures, and that's a fast effect, so you can do it in response to a combat, or just, basically to tag it into a battle for extra damage. The Gazban Ogre's risky double-edged sword. I usually wouldn't recommend that one. There's some extra lands here. Clarion Academy, you need to be trying to, like, if you get it in your opening hand, you can play around it, but you can tap it for mana or to draw a card. Very powerful effect, can be tricky to set up, especially if you draw it late. The deserts can tap for mana or to deal damage to an attacking creature, but the damage isn't done till after. Since we're using antiquities, there's lots of other artifacts, which I already showed off most of. Some of these can be used as removal. They are a little expensive. The Ornithopter here flies. The Phantasmal Clay can be a 2/2 flyer for 4, or a 3/3 regular creature for 4, or a wall that's, I think a 1/6. So, depending on the need of the day. Suchi is a 4/4 for 4, and when it dies, you get your mana back, which is interesting. Decent sized creature for the cost, especially given what we've got to work with here. What else do we have for green, though, in here? We have, again, the Strip Mine and the Mishra's Factory.
I'll set up the deck, but you play in real life, okay?
Green Crumble will destroy an artifact if I'm playing any. Destroy target artifact creature.
Sounds good.
Can't regenerate, and the artifact's controller gains life points equal to the artifact's casting cost. Then we've got the Argothian Pixie, is again a sort of an anti-artifact creature. It's got 1 less toughness than the Grizzly Bear, but it's...
Crumble, please, she said.
You like the crumble? All right. We're going to need a sleeve for that one. There's also the Pixie, which is, like I said, it's a little... One toughness instead of 2 compared to the bear, but it cannot be blocked by artifact creatures, and any damage it takes from artifact creatures is reduced to 0. And then there's also an Argothian Tree Folk, which is a 3/5 for 5, so another slightly larger creature. Any damage the Tree Folk takes from artifact sources is reduced to 0. So a slightly different effect as well, but both sort of creatures that are more resistant to artifacts.
Take both, she said.
All right, so you're definitely...
I'm going to show my apple that came off my tree today. I got lots of apples falling off my tree. These ones I picked, though, because they were ready.
Right.
Look at a nice big apple.
And pass me another sleeve.
Because people care. Our apples did very well this year. I'm really excited about it.
Now, you're a little low on 3 drops, so when you're picking your red cards, I might focus on that a little bit. Let's see what we're up to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 28. So you need a dozen more cards. Including lands. So if you're playing red, I would say you want to splash at least 4 mountains.
Do you have like some of those lands where you can have red, green, or whatever? Use both? Or do you not have that one?
I don't have that one from the early sets.
Lightning bolt, says Ryan.
Lightning bolt is a great choice for red. It's very useful. just in general. Whatever is going on, pretty much. So yeah, I like Ryan's suggestion. Lightning Bolt is a fantastic addition. There's 2 of them available.
Yes. I'm going to just say yes for Founder. Thank you, Ryan.
So
what was that little
2
dragon
lightning
again?
bolts. The Dragon Whelp.
I can't remember.
It's a 2/3 flying. It does cost 4, and you need 2 red to play it, which can be tricky if you're only splashing red. And it's got the fire breathing effect, where you can pay red mana to boost its toughness.
Mm-hmm.
What did I say? We're short on 3 drops. The giant here is a 4-drop. There's 5 drops in either the 2-headed giant or the earth elemental that are both decent size. A disintegrate can be very handy because it's red and X. So depending how much mana you have, if you've got 10 land on the board, you can pay 1 red and then put the other 9 in and deal 9 damage to anything, including your opponent's face. So very handy to have direct damage, like the lightning bolts. Pass was for
the other one, not this one. She didn't say this one yet.
Okay.
It was probably for the dragon.
Okay. But yeah, for 3 drops in red, we've got the Grey Ogre's a 2/2, the Minotaur's a 2/3, but again, you need a second red.
She wants 2 of these.
2 disintegrates. Okay. So we got 4 more to find. What else do we have? Oh,
what about this?
The Wheel of Fortune can be a great option to refill your hand. Both players must discard their hands, so that can mess up your opponent if they have cards they're holding, and then draw 7 new cards. So if you've already played all your other cards, you play this, you refill your hand, your opponent also gets to do it though, so it's double-sided. But this can be a very strong addition as well.
Yep.
Yep, Wheel's good. I'm just trying to see what else we have for 3-cost creatures from the other sets. The Ape, I think, is a nice option. The Desert Nomads has Desert Walk.
What about the Rook Egg?
Rook Egg costs 4, like some of the other things. Okay. It starts out as a 0/3 creature, so it's just like a little egg that sits there. You can't really, you can attack with it, but it does no damage. But if it dies, then it hatches, and you get a 4/4 flyer. So the egg can be potentially nice, but it takes some setup. The Ape, yeah, the Ape is a 1 cost for 1 red, but like I said, when you get a forest in play, it's +1/+2, so it becomes a 2/3 creature that you only paid 1 for on your second turn if you play the mountain first and then the forest your next turn. So you got 2 more spots for other cards. The Bird Maiden flies, but it's small. It's only a 2/1 for your 3. And what else did we have in Antiquities?
Egg, please, as well.
Egg. We've got a couple of eggs, but one might be an option. You've got several 4-cost cards already, so you probably want to be careful unless you want to substitute something for one of them. What else do we have? For 3-cost artifacts, the Ocean Soldier is a defensive 1/4 that doesn't tap to attack for 3. The Dragon Engine up the top here is 1/3, but you can pump its attack. It costs 3. Those are the only...
put it back then, she said.
Okay. Unless you wanted to swap it for like a War Elephant or a Giant Spider or something. Something that costs about the same. Well, it's not so much overkill, it's just you don't want everything in your hand to end up costing the same. If everything costs 4, then you've got nothing to play on turn 3. When you get 4, you can play 1, but when you get a 5th mana, you're still, sort of stuck with that. Lightning bolts and stuff will smooth that out a fair chunk, but yeah, if you like Where are we? We got a Tog. You need to sacrifice artifacts for that. That destroys artifacts. We already grabbed the green cards. We have enough land, actually. We have 8. We have a dozen land and a 40-card deck. That is a little on the thin side, but there is a Mox and a Lotus in there as well, so might be all right.
Bolt, please, she said. What bolt?
We already grabbed the 2 lightning bolts. So you've got 2 of those in there already.
Oh, 2 if there are 2. Oh. I just saw something else. Was there another something that was like a bolt?
I don't think so. But yeah, the other part of that I would suggest if you're looking for a 3 cost, there's a couple of 2/2s for 3, or the Ocean Soldier is a 1/4 and attacking doesn't cost a tap, or the Dragon Engine, which is a 1/3, but you can pay 2 to pump the attack if you've got lots of mana. Might be an option as well. That of the Ocean Soldier would be decent 3 drops, or you could just throw in another land to make sure you get your land drops. That might be a decent option as well. Or you could take a different route entirely and go with something like the Millstone here and try and run your opponent out of cards. That only costs 2, and you can pay 2 to tap it each time you've got extra mana to make your opponent take the top 2 cards from their library and put it in their graveyard. So this can, instead of attacking your opponent's life total, you're working on their deck, please. The Dragon Engine, we can do that. Felden's Cane, that recycles cards from your graveyard back into your deck. So we want the Millstone too. Okay. I'm going to need 2 more sleeves. Alright. So that's 40 cards. Deck is done now. You got 40 cards, unless you want to tweak things. Like I said, right now, the deck is sitting at 4 mountains for a splash of red. 8, I believe, forests. Right. Got that right. 6, 7, 8 forests. You got your grizzly bears, giant growth, berserk. You got a wild growth, which helps accelerate your mana as well. And you've got the Mox and the Lotus. So 12 lands, a wild growth, a mana rock, and a Lotus to accelerate. So I think you'll be okay. Your curve isn't too high. You got a lot of 4s. You do have the crawl worm at 6. I don't think you ended up grabbing any of the 5 cost cards, but it should be workable anyway. Leave the deck as is. Alright. So I'll start building one in response then. Let's see. You know what? I love blue. I'm going to try blue. See if I can make this work. Red is good, but you've already gutted some of the best cards from red. Black, again, powerful, but not my favorite. I'm going to try blue-white, just for a change. I haven't done much with the white here yet, so I'm going to give it a go and see what I can come up with for blue-white. So... 7, 2, 4, So that's 13 lands. I suppose nah. So 13 lands. If I'm playing blue, I'm definitely playing my big guns. So I'll grab my expensive
Excuse me.
power cards because I can and I love them. I will grab the Prodigal Sorcerer.
I'm not looking forward to this.
I will also grab the Control Magics because that's blue's bread and butter in some regards. Blue is pretty short on creatures for me. This is pretty much my only strictly blue removal, so I'll grab that.
Tim.
Yeah.
It's Tim.
Tim is the Prodigal Sorcerer.
Oh, okay.
I'll take the Phantom Monster. It's a mid-size flyer. Power sinks, I'll grab 2. I've got 3 as an option, but I'll just grab 2 of those. Counter magic a little bit is handy. No, I'm not going to be doing that. This might be a handy trick. Blue needs tricks. I'm playing blue, so I'm grabbing the Mox. That'll be basically another land. Then white. Samite Healer is good. Definitely want a Disenchant. That's handy. I'm going to try my little banding suite here, see if I can make it go. I basically got to use almost every white creature I can to make white worth trying. You know what? I'm just going to empty the page. There's 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. What else do I want here? I'm not going to go with Scheherazade.
How do you even tell how
but
much
I'll take the Cavalry.
the Black Lotus is
War
when
Elephant.
there's like no market price?
Yeah. It's really hard to tell, especially since mine is damaged. It's basically case by case. You'd have to see what they wanted to pay you for it. King Solomon is tempting since I know you've gotten a Freet, but just the one, and it's not a great card otherwise. You know what? I'm playing red-white. I'm going to play the library. It's a bit risky if you're going to try and deck me, but...
Somebody's trying to charge for moderately played 125,000, and then some.
Yeah, well, that's...
Somebody else is charging a lightly played one for 19,500.
I don't think deserts are going to work out for me in this matchup. I got a soft spot for the Ivory Tower. Seems to be fitting for white-blue. I will grab the Suchi. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think, unless I want to make some substitutions, I'm pretty well done. I could grab an Ornithopter. Dampening Field's not going to be great. I don't have enough artifacts to really take advantage of these, I don't think. Although, Witcher's Factory might be handy. Is there... Yeah, you know what? I'm going to put back the ivory tower. And the healing salve. I do like the healing salve. It actually ended up winning me the game last time, or turning the game for me last time we did this, because I was able to use it to gain 3 life, keep myself alive for one more turn. I needed to drop a big disintegrate.
Alias is here.
But I think I can give up life gain and grab Mishra's Factories, and that'll be a better play. So,
Alias. I'm tired.
So I'll get the 2 factories in place of the healing salve and the ivory tower.
Oh.
All right. So that should be 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
I'm tired.
16, 17, 18, 19,
Yeah.
20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 13 lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there's my 40 card deck.
I need sleep.
So let's fold that up, grab some dice, and get shuffling.
Yay.
So we'll do this as before. So Angela will play for you, but she'll have her hand there and be watching chat for you or others in chat to make suggestions to help guide her to beat me. So she's got red, green, fairly aggressive, mostly green with a splash of red. You're going to want to...
Probably lift it up a little higher.
There's your land pile. Here's your other card pile. You're going to want to distribute that a bit.
I don't like doing that part. We're going up.
And I'm going to want to distribute mine and give it a shuffle. And give yours a shuffle. You just don't want all the land clumps together. That's the main thing. I can give you a hand with that if you like. But...
There. Maybe. I don't know. I just do not love this camera setup. We need a better setup. I just... There you go.
More other stuff, other stuff, other stuff, other stuff. Other stuff, other stuff, other stuff, other stuff. More land, 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 land. And I really messed this up. Okay.
Is that Messier Incroyable shirt? Oh, Ryan, can you help Angela? My nephew had to go to work. I can't follow what's being said now. Okay. All right.
All right.
I don't like doing this part.
Let's break this up a bit.
I don't like doing this part. Shuffling. What do you put down first?
I wouldn't shuffle it first.
What? I'm talking about dispersing.
I would. Okay, you could either do it at random or by color. So I'd just start by putting down roll cards.
How many? 4?
I usually go by 4s, but whatever. Okay, and then you started with reds, so I'd get those 4 mountains out, and then put another roll cards across them.
Remember, I did this at a tournament once, and the guy shuffled my.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
2 rows.
Yeah, 2 rows.
Okay.
And then another row of lands.
And then because I was doing really well, and then he did that, and then I sucked.
Yeah, well, again, if it's too evenly distributed, then it can be susceptible to people doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and then Roll land.
Thank you, Vander.
And break them up again. Just deal them all out. And then pick up the piles and shuffle. Again, in a tournament, you would want it to be a little bit more randomized than that.
Yeah, but I only did what you taught me. And I didn't know that they did that kind of thing.
Well, people can if they're being
way. He was being that way.
So.
But I did better than you and David that tournament, and I was very happy.
Yeah.
I think I got 16th or something like that.
I don't remember.
Out of all the people.
Yeah. Pre-releases can go any number of ways.
Do you remember what that was?
Which was?
What that tournament that was?
Might have been World Break.
I don't remember.
I think
there was like the vampires and angels or something like that. Wasn't something like that?
I think there were some of that, yeah.
Ooh, give me the big blue pretty one.
Big blue pretty one.
Is this one written down? I love this one.
I'll take the gold dice.
Okay, this is unfair fight. Papa is distracting me with that messy incroyable shirt. Oh, shoot. Okay. Messier. Messier is the last name of a hockey player. Oh my goodness. Okay. So they have a drive or like a street, a road in Edmonton.
One of the big streets is named after Mark Messier.
Yeah.
Who was a big shot hockey player. He played with Edmonton and won some cups. Then he went to New York.
A player that you couldn't help but love. He wasn't somebody.
He was a great guy.
Yeah.
He was a good all around forward.
Yeah, I liked him. Not like Wayne Gretzky. I didn't like Wayne Gretzky. But
yeah, anyways. But our poor Google
GPS
directions thing just doesn't know how to handle French names at all.
Messier.
Messier. Yeah, I kept directing us to Mark Messier Road or whatever it's called.
Oh my goodness, it's lots of fun. This is 10.
All right. It says more than 10. No, 6. No, 9. What is that? It's a 9. This dice is hard to read.
It's a 9.
It's a 9. So you won. So you get to
go first
if you want to.
Do I get to draw an extra card or no? I can't remember.
If you start, you don't draw.
Okay.
Could you pass me my tea?
Yes, I could.
Thank you.
You're lucky I didn't insist you said please.
I'm going to keep it distant from the cards just in case, but...
I'm assuming that even though this has something else written on it, it's actually a green land, not a blue land.
Yeah, the ones with pen written on them, just ignore the scrawl. Somebody did that.
That wasn't you?
No, I acquired them already written on. I think I went to a tournament or something, and they were in the box of lands that we just grabbed for like our draft pile. And they were already scrawled on, but they were
I know what you mean, Elias.
So I kept them.
All right.
Well, this is an interesting opener.
All right, you may go.
All right. Is the camera showing the play area more or less?
Yeah.
Okay. So I go, I'll draw.
This is a 20, right? Oh, that's a 20 symbol? Yeah, okay, there's one.
Yeah. I will play a factory.
What's that do again?
It's a land that taps for colorless, or I can pay 1 to turn it into a 2/2 artifact creature. And it also has an ability where it can pump an assembly worker, which is what it turns into as well. So that can be tricky if it wants to pump itself after it blocks or something, or if I get more than one out.
Okay.
They could pump each other in theory. Another forest.
Should probably put them a little lower.
Should probably have a tablecloth that's less sticky.
Yeah, probably. So when you have an artifact, you play it, you just to put it out, and then you can do whatever it says after?
Some artifacts you can use multiple turns. Some artifacts are one use. Some just sit there and have a constant effect.
Okay. Unplay that card. Yes, the red one.
And some are creatures.
Not yet. I'm gonna hold off on this one. I'm not gonna play this one right now. I'm gonna put this art. I think that I have to put this out, right?
You have to play it if you're going to use it, yeah.
Okay, no, but I don't just put it on the board.
You can just put it on the board, and then you have to pay one and tap it and sacrifice it to use it.
I figure for now, I'll just throw it out there.
Okay.
Because
I don't have mana up to counterspell anything yet, and who knows if... Yeah, anyway, whatever.
I don't know. It's the only thing I can do.
Good. No, if that's all you can do and you want to get it on the board, you can do that. Absolutely.
Okay. You may go.
All right. I'll draw. I'll bring out an island. And a blue and a colorless. I'll bring out the giant turtle. Which is a 1/4 while it's untapped, but if I tap it for anything, it becomes a 1/1.
Okay.
Your turn.
I am like in so much trouble. I can't really play anything else. I mean, I could play this, but it's probably not the appropriate time to play that, is it?
I mean, it might slow me down. It might get rid of some of the minor threats I have on the board. It's technically an option.
Is now the time to... Would you do it now? If you had nothing else to do? Or would you wait?
If you're worried about me potentially taking it out in the future, that...
I don't know
then,
if I'm
then
worried.
It's safer to use it now. But you could also just hold off and leave it there as a looming threat for when I get something else that might be a bigger target. You know?
Yeah.
That's sort of the trade-off.
I think I will just wait, because... you can go. I can't. I have nothing else to do.
All right. I'll go tap, draw a card.
So it's Gruul versus Blue? Gruul versus Blue?
It's Gruul is red-green.
Okay.
Shorthanded.
Okay.
And blue-white. So what's that? Azorius or something like that? Anyway, I just think blue-white and red-green are easier to...
Yeah.
Whatever. Ooh, this is interesting. Oh, that is interesting. All right, well, it might be doable. I'm going to drop the Library of Alexandria.
What does that do?
It taps for a colorless mana, or I can tap it to draw a card if I have 7 cards exactly in my hand.
Okay.
Which I do not yet, but I might be able to get there in the future if I do this right. So, because I'm only 1 off at the moment.
Okay.
I will then... What am I going to do? I will attack with the turtle for 1.
Okay, well, nothing I can do. My turn?
Yes.
I can't play anything.
Okay. So, when you let me go, the first thing I do after I untap is to draw a card.
Yeah.
I will then be at 7.
So now would be a good time.
I will then be at the point where I can start using this.
Yeah.
So, if you're worried about me using this to run away with card
now would probably
advantage,
be a time to do that.
Now would probably be the best bet to take your shot at trying to take it out.
I don't know if I could do it.
So you got to drop it for at least a foot, and it's got to flip at least once before it hits the table.
Do I make it flip?
Yes, whichever direction you're more comfortable with.
It did land on it. It just fell over this way.
Yeah, but that's not where it ended up. It's like where
We're doing a redo over.
Last redo over. Oh, you got it. Okay. All right, you took it out. My turn?
Yep. Delete the table.
All right, well.
Last redo.
I'll play a Plains. I will also play the Mox.
You know he's going to beat me, right, guys? Because this is...
I will attack with the turtle for 1 again.
Uh-huh.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. I will drop the Suchi.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a 4/4 artifact creature, and if it goes to the graveyard, I get 4 colorless mana.
Okay.
Which, under the original rules...
So you're saying is you're going to adopt me? Awesome. All right, my turn?
Your turn.
Oh, man.
So are we playing old school rules or modern rules, basically? I guess we're already playing modern rules because you didn't draw when you played first.
I can't do anything. I forgot to untap this.
Too many 4-cost stuff in your hand?
Yes, and or not the right mana.
Maybe you should have subbed out a forest for another mountain or something. It's hard to say.
There's not really anything I can do, Founder. Flip the table and start over.
That's always an option, I suppose.
It's just I'm not getting the mana. That's the problem.
Done?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I have the prettiest dice here.
There's that. I will play another island. I will turn this into a 2/2 factory worker and attack for 2.
No, well, I had a mana at the start.
4, 5, 6, 7 total.
Yeah. My turn?
No, I will now take another turn. Play another island. Turn this into a factory worker and attack for 7 again.
I don't like you. Guys, this is why I stopped playing him. Now is it my turn?
Yes. Okay.
It's the only thing I can do.
Well, that should allow you to play something else.
Question is what? I've got stuff. 3 mana of any single color of your choice. And it's just for this turn, right?
Yes. It's a 1-use item, so.
I know I need more land. That's why I played this. But I'm trying to think of what is my best option here. The Blacker Lotus. Make it red and destroy a bulls creature. How much is that one?
This is a 4/4.
Okay. So Ryan's telling me to play this one. So it's red I'm putting in there.
Okay, so 3 red gives you 2 for X. To get up to 4 damage, you would need at least 2 more.
So do what?
So tap 2 more forests.
Okay.
For 2 more mana. So that gives you a total of 5. So 1 red.
But what if I want to keep 1 red to do something else?
You could do that too. Then
do I want to keep 1 red to do something else? Do I want to do that? Or I can't do that because I have nothing else to do. What would you guys do? Or I could do that. But probably just this one. Yes, just in case. In case. You're gonna have something else just come at me after. Because okay. Tapping an artifact can be played as an interrupt. Okay. What is Eric Creature's toughness? Eric Creature's toughness? Which Eric Creatures?
The turtle, because it's tapped right now, is a 1/1.
Okay.
The Suchi is a 4/4.
Okay.
This is no longer a creature, it's reverted to a land.
Okay. Oh, but it's also a creature?
It was a creature last turn when I attacked with it, but just end of turn.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna die anyways. It's just okay. I have this too, which I'm trying to take advantage of.
Right. So if you use 2 of the red from this plus these for that for your 4 to kill
I can
this,
destroy that one, yeah.
Then you still have 1 red that you could use for that to kill the turtle if you want.
Yes. I want. No, don't give. I have 4 life. I gotta do something. Yes, I will do that.
Okay, both these creatures die.
Lightning bolt the creature.
I get 4 mana colorless. Then that happens, which
whatever.
I guess technically I could sink into my Mishra's Factory if I'm worried about mana burn, but it doesn't really matter because we're playing by newer rules apparently. My turn?
Yes.
I'll play another factory.
Of course you will.
I will turn the first factory, which doesn't have summoning sickness, into a creature and attack with it for 2, and use this one to pump it, so it's for 3.
Uh-huh.
Your turn.
I need something that gives me life. Oh, yeah, now I get a...
Just a little too late, probably.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't really matter what I play.
Okay. Play the other planes. Two blue to make 2/2/2 creatures and attack with them both.
Uh-huh.
You can block and kill one of them. The other one is going to get you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which one.
Yeah. And that's game.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Round 1 goes to me. For round 2, do you want to swap in another mountain to try to make sure you get a better color balance?
I don't know if it matters.
Well, if you're finding it's too much green, we can take out a green. Let's take out the scribbled one and put in another mountain.
I don't like it.
Or if there's some other card you want to cut and just put in another mountain, that way you'll make sure you've got more land too. If there's a card that you're finding less useful.
I don't know. I barely got to play. I barely got to play. Yeah, there was land was coming up finally. I shuffled it too much. That's a problem.
That's possible.
Oh.
It's always a bit of the luck of the draw with any sort of randomized card game. So, do you want to start again, or would you like me to start this time?
I don't care. I don't know if it even really matters. I mean, if I start, then I don't know. I don't know if it matters. I'll go first, because why not? I'm getting the same cards again. Although, one of them is not bad. Oops. But, alright. I'll just throw it a land.
Okay. I will likewise throw a land. Your turn.
You can go.
Sunlight Healer.
What does that do?
It's a 1/1 creature, and I can tap it to prevent 1 damage to any target. Obviously not when I just brought it out, though. Still got
Okay.
70 seconds. Your turn.
Because I can. Oh, wait, no, I gotta put the artifact out there first. Right?
Yeah.
Put out the millstone.
Okay. That could be annoying. My turn.
I'm thinking. Yeah, I guess I'll let you go.
Okay. Untap. My healer is now usable. Play another land. I'll attack you with the semi-healer for 1.
Okay.
Your turn.
Yeah, I'm going to do something. I'm going to play the Lotus. What? What?
What is exactly the question? What is next?
Well, I've got options. But I'm going to tap these guys. It doesn't really matter what color I'm putting out because I'm going to play this guy.
Okay.
The most terrifying thing about the crawworm is probably the horrible crashing sound it makes as it speeds through the forest. This noise is so loud it echoes through the trees and seems to come from all directions at once.
Goody. Time for my one and only burn spell. Psionic Blast, 4 damage to that thing, and I take 2 damage.
You suck. I actually get to put something out. A really cool dragon. They call it a worm. My turn?
No, it's my turn
now. No. You suck.
Oh, boy.
My one creature that I'll probably... only creature I can play.
Tap for blue. I'm going to draw 3 cards. 1, 2. Oh, come on. Oh, is this disappointing?
What is this? This is Magic the Gathering. We're playing some Vintage.
I'm going to tap for another blue. Throw an unstable mutation on my Samite Healer. So make it a 4/4 currently.
Is those tarot cards? Tarot cards?
No.
No.
And I'll attack you for 4.
Well, I can't do anything because that means... It's not me, Alias. It's you.
And then it's your turn.
Magic the Gathering.
Yep, Magic the Gathering.
It's Magic the Gathering. Okay. What's that thing over there?
It's my semi-healer, but it's got an unstable mutation, so it's big right now, but it's going to start shrinking every turn until it dies.
Okay. Well, I'm going to... this guy out.
Okay. Goody.
Ha-ha!
Oh, great.
Ha-ha! That's 3 cards.
Looks like...
Well, maybe 4, because it's underneath, right? Does it count for the one underneath it?
I don't think so. There's sort of 2 ways to do that. These 2 are definitely kaboom.
Blue, white, control in
is
Vintage
kaboom.
is wild. Counterspell and jazz.
Yeah, if I hadn't... Anyway. The whole card undercard thing is... There's 2 ways to play that, but generally speaking, it wasn't touching that card after the drop, so we'll go with the 3 was actually touching.
But you took the other one out and it was still touching it when you took the other one out.
That's the other way that sometimes people used to do it, but I don't know.
You took out...
That's not the way we usually played it.
Uh-huh. We're just playing our own rules, so if there's new rules, we don't know them.
Well, technically speaking, that card's not allowed in current tournaments.
Well, there you go.
There's one format that they allow it, but they've turned it into a Vindicate.
4.
Basically.
Ryan says 4.
Pardon?
Ryan says 4. Ryan says I get that other one too.
That's not how we usually play with it. Anyway.
Oh, Ryan's the judge. Everybody who thinks Ryan should be the judge and get to decide, say aye.
Oh, wait a minute. That's a destruction effect, isn't it?
Huh?
It's destroy. Doesn't it say that?
It's a okay. So Chaos Orb must turn blah blah blah, or it's discarded when Chaos Orb lands. Any cards in play that it touches are destroyed, as is Chaos Orb.
Okay. Well, in that case, I can regenerate the semi-healer. But the enchantment was also touching, so it's gonna die. And the land is dead anyway. So this is gonna survive because I regenerate it. But it's no longer
Is
big.
it too late for that? No?
Oh, we're still arguing over resolution for the last land.
Oh, okay.
So...
Well, I'm not judge, says Ryan.
Right, so we'll play it like I used to.
Ryan, why did you say that? We could have got his other land. Thank you very much.
My turn?
I guess.
Alright. Being down in a land is really annoying because I was stuck. I didn't get a land drop last turn. Oh, here's my land, so I'm back to where I
You
was.
took out my giant worm, so I don't care.
There's that. Alright, well, here comes Timmy.
Ryan judges. Thanks, Ryan. We could have had that other land. Now you just allowed him to come back.
So I'll play the Prodigal Sorcerer, and I'll attack with the healer for 1 again.
My turn.
Your turn.
So what are those guys for?
They're both 1/1 creatures. This one will be able to tap to do 1 damage to any target, and this one can tap to prevent 1 damage to any target.
Yeah, well. All right. Well, I'm going to play this one. Take top 2 cards from target player's library and put them in target player's graveyard.
Okay, so my library or yours?
Yours.
Okay, just gotta check. Oh, there goes the Suchi, and there goes a Mishra's Factory.
All right. Now, feel like which one's the worst out of those 2?
Generally, the ability to do damage is stronger than the ability to prevent it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna lightning bolt that guy just cause.
Bye, Tim.
Yep. You may go. I don't know. I gotta do something.
Okay. I guess I'm in the same boat. I could.
Getting stuck on land again.
I'll attack for 1.
My turn?
Yeah.
Ooh, something I can do. Something I can do. Although, do I play a creature or do I just try and run your deck down if I could only do one thing? Well, I'll play the creature.
It's going to cost 2 more, or it's countered.
No. How did you do that?
It's a counter spell. That's what it does. Target spell is countered unless its caster spends X more mana. If you're not able to pay that, then you still have to drain your remaining lands in mana pool. But it's countered if you can't pay another 2.
So I can't, because obviously I don't have any more land.
Right, so it's countered and tap your last land. Is the effect.
You suck. I should have just taken your 2 cards away.
Probably. Countered means discard it, not back in your hand.
That's not what it means. It doesn't say that. It means countered means you stop it.
Countered means it doesn't resolve. It goes to the discard pile. Memory Lapse is a specific counter spell that puts it back in your hand, but that's unusual.
You suck. Go.
Okay. Yay, finally. 4th land. Phantom Monster. And attack for 1 with the healer.
Counter means kitchen top. Is it my turn?
Attacked you for 1 with the healer.
Yeah, go
And then
away.
It's your turn.
I can't. What? Sorry, what does that thing do?
It's a 3/3 creature with flying.
Yeah, I can't.
If you have a lightning bolt now, it probably.
I don't have a lightning bolt.
Right. Two more. Bye-bye planes. Bye-bye another planes. Red Factory.
Problem with this deck is I just can't get the lands. Wouldn't have been as bad if you didn't destroy my freaking giant worm.
Well, if I hadn't, I would have been dead by now.
Exactly. Exactly.
Play a War Elephant.
My turn.
No. I'm going to attack with the healer and the monster for a total of 4.
I don't like you. Now is it my turn?
Yes.
Well. It's probably too late for that. But, whatever. I'm going to do it. Return any card from my graveyard to my hand.
Right.
You know what I'm doing. Is this the right move? I don't know.
I don't know. Depends what you plan on doing with it. Getting the Chaos Orb might be a good move too.
Yeah, that probably would have been. But I probably should have done that, shouldn't I have? But oh crap. Can I change my mind? Go back for the Chaos Orb? Can I change my mind?
I suppose.
I know I can't play it though.
No, not this turn. It would have to
Ugh.
be next turn is the problem.
Yeah. It's because I just realized I'm still short even if I get the 3 mana to play this. I can't play that one. But wonder. this over here. I don't know. Can I play that more than one time?
No.
No.
It's a mono artifact, which means once per turn.
Okay.
In newer printings, they actually put the tap symbol on it so that you don't tap it and pay to use it.
Yeah. There's a problem with playing what I did. I should have. Ugh. Anyways, I could just say red, and then I could. What? Probably doesn't even matter.
Phantom Monster is the biggest one.
Yeah.
You could burn that for 3.
Yeah, let's do that. Just because I don't have anything else to do. I don't have any leftover lands, do I?
No, because you have to use the last force to get your 3rd.
Yeah, got it. Got it. Go.
Planes. I will turn this into a 2/2 factory, band it with the War Elephant, and attack you with the 2 of them together for 4.
Where's my 4? There we go. My turn.
I'll bring out a giant turtle.
My turn.
Your turn. Or a giant tortoise, technically.
I quit.
That 2 games in a row, you got stuck on 3 land.
Yeah.
That's really annoying. Yeah. I mean, to load us up a little bit, but
I didn't have creatures in my hand. Like the one creature I had, I couldn't play because I had to do that.
Short. Yeah.
Probably what I should have did was wait till this turn and not tried to. But then I wouldn't have been able to. I would have been done anyways.
Yeah, that's a rough spot. That deck is definitely needs to get creatures on the board, and
yeah.
So I guess that deck didn't prevail.
Nope.
You want to change it up?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm done. Finito. I don't feel like doing this one anymore. I don't like it. I don't like it. Oh man.
Still had a couple of heavy hitters myself coming if I needed them. So, but yeah, it's really tough if you don't get enough mana.
I didn't have enough. Well, that could have helped me, maybe.
Yeah, that probably would have given you more gas to keep going anyway. Here's another mana source. Something that's playable at least. Yeah.
I just needed to get a few more turns.
Yeah. Or a few more land.
Yeah,
earlier.
A few more turns.
A few land earlier would have done you wonders. Because basically with the millstone on the board, you just needed to like have enough to fend my stuff off.
Yeah.
Basically. And then you could eventually run my deck out. Like,
where were all the... Oh, they're... Okay, I had them upside down.
Alright. Well, that was interesting.
Yep. Oh, well. I don't know. So that was that, guys. I think I prefer the dollar store packs versus like real pack
Well, pack
games.
battling is fun, but I just like this is a couple of things. It's a chance for creativity in building the decks.
Yeah.
It's a chance to use some of the old cards that I love, and it's a chance to sort of share that experience because a lot of people don't have access to the older cards. So
Yeah.
also, it's a good way to play a game or two without having to spend money. Which, if you're doing pack battles, you got to buy packs. Like
No worries, Andrew.
so yeah, artifacts, blue,
Still
white,
fun. I mean, it
white,
just it's all
blue.
honestly, it's not that the deck was really that bad. It just needed more land to come up when I needed it.
Blue, white, land, artifact, blue, white,
Ooh.
blue, white.
So, how can somebody learn how to play Magic? You can. I mean, there's lots of different ways. If you have game stores near you, there's usually people there that are willing to help you learn.
I mean, a lot of the cards nowadays are a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
Creatures back in the olden sets had like one or two keywords, and then they were just, sort of a generic creature. Whereas now they tend to have multiple abilities, a lot more enter the, when something's plays, abilities or attacks. So there's more to keep track of. So I find the older cards are easier to learn with. But they do have
commander decks and starter decks and things like
starter sets. If you're looking to learn to play, I would recommend a starter set over commander decks. Personally.
Yeah. Starter set.
It comes with the rules. We'd opened this one last time. We didn't actually play it, but we opened it last time. They're usually a little bit more economical as well. You get 2 ready-to-play decks and a rule sheet that explains the basic gameplay. But basically, the rules are
no land, not fun. That's true.
No, it's hard for any deck to win if it doesn't get enough land.
Yeah,
that's the big issue. Getting mana flooded where you have too many lands is bad too. Yeah, but it's not as bad as not having enough lands at all.
Yeah.
So it's better to have too many lands than too few in some regards.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at how I should rearrange that binder too, because initially I had it organized by set.
Actually, this might not have been bad to have it like this, because I can see the full playing thing like that.
But I combined Alpha, Beta, and Unlimited into one because they're all the same set basically, and just sorted it by color this time to make the deck building a little easier. But whether that's the best way to do it, I'm not so sure.
We're not really sure what this week and the weekend's looking like because we have some plans up in the air. So I don't know what's going on. Thursday, we're planning on opening the Destin Rivals booster box.
Yeah, that'll be...
unless we can get our hands on some of the new set.
Possibly. But by Thursday...
It all depends if we can take a drive somewhere and if they have it. So... I don't know what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything in town here that'll have those before Friday. So,
I doubt it.
And I don't think they'll have it at the shop in the next town. But, and then the weekend's up in the air for sure. But yeah, Thursday's Pokemon Day. And I don't even know what else we got going on. We have some Lego to build at some point, but like I said, the weekend's up in the air, so we don't know what's going on the weekend.
What else were we thinking of potentially for the weekend?
We were thinking possibly camping.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just like a road trip. Could do a little stream from Valemount or something like that, and have lunch and let the kids play in the park. And I don't know. We got some options. We'll have to figure.
Why don't you use photocopies of cards instead of the real ones to preserve the condition of the cards? These are very well played cards.
The condition of these cards is mostly heavily played to begin with. Plus, I'm already using sleeves, and honestly, okay.
You want to see photocopies?
Photocopy cards are garbage.
He's got photocopies.
It does not look good.
Some of these are ones that your friend drew.
Some of these were hand-drawn ones that got photocopied. Some of these were from the back of magazines. Some of these were even color printed. They look like garbage.
Okay, the printer back then was crap.
Yes, the printers back then were a lot worse, true. But I don't like it.
Yeah.
The cards
got
are
these
designed
cards
to play with.
Yeah.
I might as well use them. I've had them forever. I rarely get to play. So when I get to play, I like to play. And I don't want to have to fight with people when I go to other places to play about whether I'm allowed to use the card because, whether it's real or not. If I've got the real card, I'm just going to play the real card.
Yeah.
That's my take on
it. Would you play with expensive cards? There's actually a lot of these cards are expensive.
My most expensive cards are all on the table right now.
Where's your
Lotus?
most
expensive 3 cards are the damaged Black Lotus. I've got a lightly played Ancestral that I traded for years and years ago. And the one that I started the stream talking about, the most expensive card I ever bought, was the Beta Time Walk. Heavily played.
Yeah.
I've got some other ones here too, like Library of Alexandria Chaos Orb. They're each worth a few bucks as well.
Yeah.
So,
And we actually flipped this one too.
It's why I use sleeves to try to, keep the condition as good as I can while still being able to use the cards.
Yeah. Oh wait, where's the Icy Manipulator? That one's worth a bit too, isn't it?
A little bit. I mean,
not worried about getting them bent. No, I mean we've played for.
I don't rifle shuffle my expensive cards.
Yeah,
I shuffle them gingerly. I be careful with things.
It's not that we let the kids play with them.
This is collector's edition. It's not, a real one.
Where's the AC Manipulator gone?
That might be worth a few.
Yeah.
Berserk used to be. Here's the IC. That's my.
So this one was one you paid what, $5 for?
Yeah, I paid like $5 because it's
but it's also got the signature, and then they thought that it was like what? They thought it was a beta?
It was a beta. It turns out it's an alpha.
Yeah.
It's my only alpha uncommon. So.
But no, we're not really too worried about them getting bent. We don't play rough with them, and we don't let the kids handle them. So.
Yeah. But why have cards if you're not going to enjoy them? I can enjoy them looking at them in the book and appreciate them, sure.
Yeah.
But they're designed to play with, so I like to play with them every once in a while. And I said, I use sleeves.
How much is a Black Lotus worth? That one we're not really sure because it's very heavily played. There is is there a bent corner on that one? But you got it damaged.
Yeah, it was damaged when I got it. I got it 15 years ago. So I've had it for 15 years. I've used it in a bunch of decks.
And
it's in really bad shape.
Yeah. So, and if you look at the back too, it looks like somebody took a marker to the bottom.
Possibly. It's hard to tell for sure, but I suspect.
Yeah.
In any case, it's, 15 years ago, that was probably the second most expensive card I ever got.
I mean, it's still probably worth a few $1,000s, right?
Oh, I'm sure I could sell it for more than I paid for it.
Yeah.
But
as long as they're sleeved and you're careful with them, it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, it's not like they're mint condition anyway. So.
Is that an incredibly rare card? I'm not too familiar with Magic.
It is very rare. It's sort of the chase card of the whole game, basically, but it's the cheapest edition you can get of it, and it's in really bad shape.
Yeah.
So, but even so, it's probably worth in the thousands.
Yeah, we don't know. We'd have to take it somewhere and get somebody to kind of evaluate it or something. Somebody that could give us an approximate price on it.
There's probably someone crazy enough to buy it.
Oh, probably. I'm sure lots of people would love to have it.
Said before and I'll say it again. Shiny pieces of cardboard.
These ones aren't so shiny.
No, these ones.
My cards are shiny.
This
my
was before they
Pokemons.
started making foil cards for the playing with. That's another whole debate.
This is probably still worth more than my graded Giratina too.
Probably.
And my graded Giratina is my most expensive Pokemon card I have.
Yeah. For Magic the Gathering, the very best stuff that I own, basically, is on the table here. There's one or two cards in that didn't get into these decks, but most of the better ones are here.
Have you ever won a big tournament? Not really. You just played in small shops.
Yeah, I played small shops, local tournaments, and then I did some pre-release tournaments. That's all I ever did. I never got into big tournaments. I did win a tournament back in the day with the Chronotog Stasis deck. That was fun. And I remember laughing quite a bit when Urza Saga came out, and some of our local players with deep pockets had the deck with 4 Tolarian Academies, 4 time spirals, just cycle the mana artifacts, get lots and lots of mana, and stroke of genius your opponent's deck out. I used to laugh at that because I was sitting pretty on a $20 Chains of Mephistopheles and like a $15 Underworld Dreams, either of which I could drop on turn 1 or 2 with the Dark Ritual easily, and their whole deck plan just self-destructed on them. Like,
was one of those people Jeff or
no, actually,
no,
there's another French kid called JF.
Okay,
Jean-Francois,
Yeah.
So we had Jeff and JF and lots of other characters.
Do you ever wonder what that one's doing? What the French kid or whatever?
Yeah, I've lost track with him entirely. Like, he was he was a big time collector. He would go and get all the big cards on the new release powerful sets, and he annoyed everybody. And he was a little bit younger than me, and like I said, he was more on the French side of the community, and I was more on the English side. So outside of seeing him at the card shop, I really didn't know much about him.
That'd be funny.
Although apparently he's the one who traded this into the store.
Oh, okay.
Because he found somebody who had some old cards, and then later I traded to get this off the store.
Okay.
So indirectly, he helped me get this.
Okay.
So, which was my first ever.
Jean-Francois, if you're still out there, hi.
Hi and thanks. But yeah, you were.
As long as you know your deck and your deck is consistent, you can make a very powerful deck with about $50.
Oh, absolutely. There's lots of ways to make cheap decks. I used to do it all the time. Now I don't have time to do a lot of time deck building. It's just fun to throw cards together and have a game.
Yeah.
These were not heavily, tailored, constructed decks. Like I said, I made a comment as we were throwing together the green and red one that it was probably too heavy on 4-cost cards, not enough 3-cost cards, stuff like that. The land
is there a card
could have been
you
tweaked.
want right now? If you could have any card right now, what would it be?
Any card right now? That's tough. I don't even know what all the options are. I would like to get, a Buster Sword to go with the Cloud from Final Fantasy, but probably, I would love to pull one of the One Rings for the Lord of the Rings.
Chocobo.
The Chocobo's cute, but it doesn't mean
I
much
want
to
the
me.
Chocobo.
Yeah, I know. It's a cute card, but
it's so cute.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Trying to think. It would be neat to get a couple more of the neat dragons from Tarkir Dragonstorm. They were kind of interesting, but to be honest, a lot of the newer cards that are out there from the recent sets, they're interesting. It might be neat to go back and pick something like a Ragavan, Nimble Pilfer, or a Sheoldred the Apocalypse. Some of those cards that have been really popular for years that I sort of missed. Maybe, but honestly, I'm at a point now where I'm pretty happy with my collection either way.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I just like the Chocobo. I don't have any specific one that I want. We got a couple, don't we? Like, they're not big ones or anything, but my focus is more on the Pokemon stuff.
Yeah.
But I do like the Chocobo. It's cute.
Yeah.
What about an older one? Is there any older one that if you could get?
Older cards?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. For
Some are kind of hard to find because they're banned.
Oh, well, there's
So-
that too. Like, you know, going through this, I've been adding a few cards strategically, and I just love the flavor of some of these sets.
Yeah.
Like for Arabian Nights, I would love to add a jihad or jihad, whatever you call it, but they don't list it in stores.
Yeah.
I would,
Mint Black Lotus, says Ryan. Yeah.
obviously the value is always nice no matter what you get, but in terms of the interesting cards,
Yeah.
you know, something like an Elephant's Graveyard would be nice, or maybe more of the if Edgens and Efreets, stuff like that from Arabian Nights. I'd love to fill up my Arabian Nights a little bit more. I'd also love to get more in terms of completion for the Portal 3 Kingdoms set,
Yeah.
which is old now, but not as old as these. So something like a Zodiac Dragon or an Imperial Seal that were always a little bit just out of reach for me, that I could never justify for a card of that type, because they're not that powerful.
The
They're just
one
interesting in
ring. Oh, the one ring of the blasphemy set. Yeah. Good luck getting that from Post Malone. I don't think he wants to part with that
No, I
card.
don't think he's planning on parting with it. But you never know. I mean, there's lots of things that would be interesting that I wouldn't mind.
When everyone knows who has the one of one ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that. But
Who knows? Maybe one day he'll get rid of it.
oh, who knows? Maybe one day.
Can you imagine if he decided to do it as like some kind of giveaway for his fans? I'd become a fan really fast.
Sometimes, you know, I've seen more and more people who just sort of do community.
What is
You know,
the single most powerful card?
It depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And in what category, you know, for card efficiency and things like that. Ancestral Recall's up there. If you want resources in a hurry, the Black Lotus is up there. There's a lot of really, like the dual lands are a staple for deck building, that, you know, most collectors want to get their hands on. If it's just, you know, one of for a commander deck, or if it's play sets of 4, if you're interested in vintage or legacy or whatever they're calling it now. Like, those were sort of the collection builders' bread and butter for a long time, was dual lands. Now they're getting a little bit less attainable.
I'd
they're still
actually,
sought after.
you know what, I'd really like to, like, if they have time or they'd be up for it, the guy from the shop in the next town there,
Yeah.
just to see if he would sit down and do a stream with you of just playing one of your crazy decks just for fun.
It could be interesting.
I think we should ask him. He'd probably be up for it
Might be.
sometime. We'd have to schedule it, but
Yeah. Yeah, we probably would have to schedule it.
I know he's got like some cards, some sealed stuff that he said that he might open someday. And I'm like, if you're up, if you do, let us know. We'd love to be there for it.
Yeah, well, it's always
So-
fun to see some old and lucky stuff get opened.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of planning sometime in the next month there. October is going to be the 30th anniversary of the release of Homelands. Homelands was the first set that released after I started playing. And so it was the first set I ever collected because it was fresh out and it was new cards. And I was newly interested in the game. So I started to try and collect the whole set. And I managed to accomplish it. And I still have that set the same set that I put together, still sitting there in the binder. So it'd be a good chance to do a deep dive on Homelands. I've done a look at it before in the past, but I think it'll be a good chance to take a second look. And I've learned how to show cards off on camera a lot better than I did in that first
This
video.
one's actually in really good condition.
Which one?
The wheel.
No.
Well, the front is in really
The
good
front
condition.
isn't bad, the back.
The back is not so much. I take that back. Was it Deep Pocket Monster that did like a video like, should I open it and keep it sealed? And he did it and he pulled one of these?
I don't know. Somebody did.
I think it was Deep Pocket Monster.
I saw someone open a pack of German, whatever it was, revised, I guess, a couple days ago, and they pulled a black bordered tropical island in German. Like that's one of the best pulls you can pull. And
We do have some pretty good legends, like Italian legends cards, like
yeah,
that are.
like I said, back whatever it was, 15 years ago or whatever, we got 2 boxes of Italian legends and had a great fun opening them up. We came across. Do you remember those 2 error packs where there's a fat pack and a skinny pack?
Yeah.
And one pack had no uncommons in it, and the other pack had double uncommons in it. We should have kept those sealed because that would have been quite the novelty. But
Yeah, we weren't really thinking about that back then.
no, we weren't. But that was interesting.
Yeah. I still remember going and buying you packs from that one shop in Edmonton there and getting there's a couple different sets we would
There
get
was a
from.
shop that was listed in Scry magazine as a contributor for their prices in Edmonton that we went and checked out, and their inventory was getting awful thin at that time, and I think they closed not long after.
Okay.
But that's where I got these. They still had. There are 4 different arts, one for each season for the Mistress Factory and Antiquities. The spring one here is the uncommon version. The other 3 versions are all rare. So this is the cheapest version.
Now I want to buy another collector box of Final Fantasy.
But they had 2 of these. They were like $6 each or something. So I grabbed them. And these are the cards I think about when I first went exploring Edmonton.
What current collection packs should someone buy today?
Oh boy. It's really hard to say. The market's going really strange right now.
It probably depends what your budget is and what your plan for it is.
Yeah. I don't consider cards to be an investment first and foremost. I have some old stuff. I always tried to trade up. I try to keep my cards in decent shape. And I know that there's some value to them. But that's not the primary reason I get them.
No.
And I wouldn't bet on them doing anything. But they're for certain things that they do trend up a little bit over time, or at least they have so far. Yeah. I suppose if the popularity of the game crashes, which it looks like Wizards is pretty much giving up on the core game, they're focusing entirely on these Universes Beyond things now, which is a double-edged sword, which I think is going to bite them in the butt one of these days.
Ryan says Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy has been incredibly popular, and anything like Lord of the Rings or Final Fantasy, where they're drawing not only from the Magic fan base, but also from a popular franchise's fan base, I think that those have done very well. Yeah. And I think that's because you've got basically 2 competing fan bases, both who want to get the cards. And even if one of those fan bases dries up, there will still be some demand from the others. So that's probably a safer bet than some things.
Well, it depends again how much money you have. If you want to invest, you could do something like that Alpha guy.
I do not recommend cards as an investment. Period. I do not.
No.
It's possible to make some money on them. But
we've been pretty lucky with some of our sealed,
more than they're worth.
Some of our sealed Pokemon stuff that ended up jumping in price.
Yeah, but we've never been able to sell anything.
We haven't tried to sell it.
We've never flipped anything and actually made a profit.
No, we haven't tried to.
No. The closest I ever did was that time I sold off a pair of Star Trek starter decks and covered half the cost of my box.
Ooh. No, I mean, I wasn't, when I got into the Pokemon collecting, it wasn't because I was looking for investments. It was because I liked the shiny cardboard and the art.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's not worth getting it all if you don't enjoy the game and the
How much is Final Fantasy?
It's been creeping up. I mean, they're probably going to do reprints for the base set.
Can you?
And I've heard that they're planning on doing something for the holiday season, but they haven't. I don't think they've announced it yet. But I would imagine it'll be something similar to what they did with Lord of the Rings, where there was a special edition collector booster. Maybe some scene boxes or something like that. That's what they did with Lord of the Rings. And I expect
maybe those
they'll do something similar.
Do you think they'll do the tins like they did with
That wasn't them. That was a repackager thing.
Oh, wasn't it was Walmart exclusive.
It was through Walmart. Yeah, it was one of those repackaging companies.
But it was like the tins were the art from there, so they had to have some kind of agreement with them.
Probably. I don't know.
I like those tins. We have a set of them from both Bloomborough and Lord of the Rings, but we opened a lot of those tins from Lord of the Rings.
We did, because that's all we could find in our town, and we weren't
Yeah.
going hunting for it.
And that was
elsewhere.
before they had them locked up in the glass.
When Lord of the Rings first came out, I wasn't particularly interested because I didn't like some of their
Final
artistic
Fantasy
decisions.
booster boxes 400 plus in Ontario.
Yeah. For the set boosters or for the collector boosters, I don't even know. Anyway,
it just says booster boxes, so I'm
probably set boosters. I don't even know. But yeah, I didn't jump on the Lord of the Rings right away. It wasn't until a couple months in.
I guess I could put it on your face.
You could, but yeah, it wasn't until a couple months in that I decided to try and, when we were finding it in our local store, that I decided to try to pick some up and decided eventually to try to collect the set. And I've got most of the core set done now,
You know
but
what?
all the extra arts, they make sets almost impossible to finish now. Not impressed. Like I said, back in the day, I collected a couple sets, but now, modern sets, it's ridiculous how many alternate foiling, alternate frames, same cards over and over to try to find different alternate images, borderless versions. There's just so many different ones, and then you get things like, the box toppers, the commander subs, secondary series.
Yeah.
It's impossible to collect a set now, so, or virtually impossible. So I'm not going to try again. Like, we got a little bit of Final Fantasy because I was interested to see how they handled that many different stories.
I'd like to open more Tarkir.
Tarkir was a fun set, but again, that one wasn't. That was an actual Magic. It was their own property. They weren't. It wasn't Universes Beyond.
Yeah.
And so, it made a lot more sense, and it was a fun set.
Yeah, I like it.
Tarkir. I think Bloomborough was cute. Most of the other sets that they've been coming out with haven't impressed me thematically.
Yeah.
They don't feel like Magic the Gathering to me. And, Foundations was a good enough base set, I suppose. But
they need to do something for, like, the OG fans.
Well, they tried that. And they muffed it so badly for the 30th anniversary that
maybe
it was just bad publicity for them.
Maybe talk to actual fans. What do you guys want? What would you like to see us do?
They don't care. I think they're just out to make money, and right now their focus is on Universes Beyond. So, their last set, the space-themed one that came out with, what was it called?
I don't know.
I think it was just a proof of concept to show what Magic is like in space with ships and stuff, so that they could get sci-fi properties to do more Universes Beyond. I think that's the only reason they did that. And yeah, the way they set up the Lord of the Rings was Tales of Middle-earth, the Lord of the Rings. So I'm sure they're going to announce sooner or later another Tales of Middle-earth, The Hobbit, or Tales of Middle-earth, The Silmarillion, or Tales of Middle-earth, whatever that stupid miniseries was. Like, they're going to just, get the rights and milk these properties until they milk them to death. Like, at this point, it was interesting to take a look, and I appreciated a lot of the choices they made, but not all, with that first Tales of Middle-earth, The Lord of the Rings. As a game, Magic is not well suited for these properties.
Yeah.
It doesn't mesh well for the feel. I'd much prefer the older card games like Decipher's Lord of the Rings that was actually designed around get the ring through a series of areas to a goal and having to maneuver against, the opponent. It was much more designed and felt more like, especially the first movie, maybe the second movie. The third, it broke down a little bit, but it was still a Lord of the Rings-y experience. They did similarly well with their Star Trek and Star Wars card games. They felt like, you were doing an episode of Star Trek, or, at least maneuvering around doing stuff in the Star Wars universe at the time. Now they got a Spider-Man set, and they're setting it up with one of the Infinity Stones, where it looks like they're going to be doing probably another 5 more Marvel sets stretched thin so they can get in more of the property with more Infinity Stones to collect from every set. I don't know. It feels yuck to me. I love the game. I love the classic sort of era of the game. Um, the stuff from before when I started playing, especially. A few of the things that I experienced along the way or missed out. I love the things that have sort of real world connections, like a Library of Alexandria, a real world place that used to exist. Like some of the sort of semi historical or historical characters that they've actually made cards
Yeah, your
for over
Einstein
the
card
years.
somewhere.
Yeah, or the whole Portal 3 Kingdoms set. I think the flavor is amazing. It's not a main set, nor should it probably be, but it was really fun, and I'm glad I was able to get some of it before it got ridiculously priced. And maybe one day I'll get a chance to, trade for other pieces and actually complete the set. But it doesn't even really matter to me. I just enjoy the game, I enjoy the flavor, and I'm gonna pick and choose and deal with mostly what I got. Like,
Is there an app that you can play a Magic game? There is some online something. I just don't know.
yeah, there's Magic Online, or at least there used to be. There's also they had a couple of different versions. There was a game back in the day, um, called Shahar, no, not Scheherazade. What was it called? Shahandalar, where you had to walk around a world and collect cards and beat random encounters and try and stave off these wizards from taking over too many towns and things. That was fun and interesting, but it doesn't run well on modern computers if you can find it at all. But there's Magic Online, and what's the name of the other one? Shoot. Arena?
Yeah.
Magic Arena?
Yeah.
But to me,
You can use
it's not really the
Forge,
game.
which is like Yugo Pro.
I don't like the idea. Like, I already spent money to build my collection physically. I don't want to spend more money for digital cards, which I'll lose a password and they'll all be gone, or something else will
Yeah.
happen, or the platform will go dormant, or whatever.
Well, it's like Pokemon.
You know.
They've got like the TCG Live, which you can use the code cards
Yeah.
for, but now they have something called Pocket Packs, which is something different.
Yeah, I don't like throwing money into collecting digital stuff.
With a database with all the cards available, so you can play tests. Oh, he's talking about one of the an app.
Yeah, I mean, for play testing, maybe, but even then, it's not the same feel. Like having a computer randomize your deck for you, and it seems to me that they build card designs more for that now. That's one of the things that bugged me the most just before I took a 10-year hiatus on the game, was when they started making transform cards in Innistrad. What good is a double-sided card? You can't play it in a deck with other cards unless they're sleeved. Basically, it forces you to use sleeves or to play a substitute token card where after you play it, you bring the real one in from the side so that you can transform it and things. It's just awkward. Like that sort of thing, sure. Online, not a problem. The computer handles it. They put a fake card back on it when it's in your deck. Whatever. But any sort of transforming, flipping cards, I really don't like that. Not for physical gameplay. It's too awkward. And the rules bloat is getting serious. They've got, even in Foundations, a basic set to learn to play with. Like there was split mana symbols. There were multicolor cards, way too many than there needed to be for a set designed to introduce you to the game. Legendary rules keep changing. Like the game doesn't need to be as power crept and as complex as they've made it to be enjoyable. The classic flavor, classic art design, I appreciate, But it's not even about that. It's just the rule design. They're creative in one way, but they limit their creativity in others. I don't see, the reason they banned from tournament manual dexterity cards, which they only ever made 2 of, Falling Star and Chaos Orb, wasn't for power level. It was because they were worried that whoever's playing cards couldn't do that. That it was limiting for people with mobility issues. If you're shuffling up a deck and playing, like, I see no reason why you can't flip a card. Like, I don't think it was that big an issue they needed to ban the cards over. It's a hugely small number of people that it would affect, and the cards weren't that strong that you couldn't build around it if it was an issue for it. I build around all kinds of things just because I don't like them. I don't like the transform cards, so I don't tend to use them. Case in point. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's anyway. Sometimes I just like to rant.
Yep.
But you get me going. I don't know what to say about it. But
Papa
yeah,
Spocat rants.
I enjoy the game. They used to do, speaking of commemorative stuff, they did the From the Vaults. I still have a sealed sealed as much as they ever came, From the Vault Dragons, the first one they did for the 15th anniversary of the game. That was fun. Most of the cards aren't worth anything, but they were cool. People like dragons.
Yeah, I like dragons.
Later, they started doing From the Vault Relics, From the Vault Exiled.
It is Ransdraway.
They did, they reprinted things like Berserk, Strip Mine, a lot of cool, old, powerful cards. They would throw one in the box. They were a pain to get because each card shop only got a few, and people fought over them and the price went up. But it's nothing compared to what they do now with collector boosters and things. Dual decks, they're fine to learn to play with. They threw some good cards in there. It was nice and flavorful. They canceled that line too. Even regular starter decks for sets they've stopped doing. Now, if you want a starter package, it's preset. It's not randomized.
What was the dual deck that we got? We actually got the...
That wasn't even one of the better ones.
No, I know, but what was that one again?
Jace versus Vrask. It was one of the later ones. I happened into a store one day where they usually, got the dual decks out and put them on the shelf. This is before people were going nuts for cards, but they didn't bother to take them out of the case. They just had a whole case of them still shrink wrapped on the shelf. And so I took it, okay, well, can I just buy a case? Is that a different price than an individual dual deck box? And I took it over to the scanner, scanned it. It's a big box store. And the code on the box rang up as, sort of generic action figure, $5, something like that. I'm like, okay. I tried taking it to the cash. It rang through as action figure, $5. The cashier looked at it a little sideways, but didn't question it. And I paid my $5 and got 6 Jace versus Vrask dual deck packs for $5 and gave one to my brother and gave one to someone else, and I've still got a couple.
Alias says, why didn't you get Angels versus Demons or Neeson versus Obnixilis?
I don't remember ever seeing the Nisa versus Obnelix one, or whatever his name was. I did get an Angels versus Demons one, and I still have some of the cards from it, but they're all mixed through because
you use them for different decks.
Yeah, basically. I reconstructed some of my dual decks. Like I've got the Jace versus Chandra, one of the early ones. That was the first one they made with Planeswalkers as the face cards. I got that one reconstructed. And I've got the Elspeth versus Tezzeret. I got 2 copies of that one back in the day because it came with 2 Swords to Plowshares. It came with 2 Mishra's Factories. It came with a lot of really good cards that I wanted to have some extra play sets of. So I grabbed 2 copies of that. the Tezzeret in that is a very playable card too. Actually, both the Planeswalkers are. So yeah, I enjoyed that deck. Um, Another one of my favorite was the Phyrexia versus the Coalition, just because it had a lot of the dragons that I liked playing back when Invasion was new. You got 3 of them in one of those decks. That one was controversial because they reprinted Phyrexian Negator, I think, in it, which had been a reserve list card. So, you know, it's one of those things where they keep stretching the rules in one way or another. Back when they first made the reserve list, there were uncommons on it. They stripped all of them off. So, you know, and then they started putting them in sets. So they've been reprinting Basalt Monolith. They've been reprinting Clone. They've been reprinting the others. I forget the whole list, but you know, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe someday I'll find, as I'm digging through my collection, some of the other cards which I know I used to have and I can't find yet too. I was thinking about that today. I used to have a copper tablet. Not sure where that is. I used to have Bottle of Suleiman. Don't know where that is. I'm absolutely sure I had 4 Beta Swamps, and I can only find 3. So, you know, I keep hoping that those cards will turn up. I want to find my old Scry magazines. I'd love to do a video talking about some of this old stuff with you guys and show you just why some of this stuff has gone so nuts. Because the print runs in these early sets was small, especially on rares. When you look at the rares from each set, it's literally like, I think Arabian Nights, there are like 20,000 of the like rare 2s ever printed.
They've been reprinting everything cards that were worth $50 back in the day, and now you get for 30 cents.
Oh, some of the cards have been printed to absolute death because they just keep reprinting and reprinting and reprinting. There've always been some outliers where things have, you know, gone up over time, but usually they'll spot those and reprint them if they get a chance at some point anyway. So it's hard to say. Every so often I find something that surprises me that's crept up in value, or something that used to be worth something and has been reprinted to oblivion. You know, back before they were putting Soul Ring in every commander deck, you know, it was just a good solid card from Revised that was an uncommon. It was worth about, I think it was up there about $8 or so a piece for revised copies, and now they've been reprinted so much you can get a Soul Ring for probably $1 now. Like, still a good card, but not special anymore just because it's in like every commander deck ever made, just about. It's interesting too, their formula for their commander decks. I was looking at them the other day and realized, you know what? For all these commander decks they've released, for as long as I can remember seeing them, I don't remember them ever doing, or very, very rarely doing, monocolor commander decks. Half the commander decks I've ever built have been monocolor commander decks. But for some reason, for their products they want to sell, they want to keep cycling those multicolor lands in there as a selling point because those have got, you know, they hold their value a bit more for the mana bases. Some of the new ones they've put in don't impress me, to be honest. But that's because I grew up with, you know, regular dual lands around. Pain lands were around too. And then eventually they released shock lands and fetch lands and all that stuff.
Alias says that monocolor in Commander is harder to pull off.
It can be, but it's, you know,
because they require skill and experience.
Or just a you know, idea and enjoying the theme. I think the reason they don't do it though is for the mana base, for marketing purposes. I think that's the main reason why they don't do that. The first commander, one of the early commander decks I built, and I built it just on challenge, was a Karn Silver Golem deck. And again, I'm using the modern terminology commander. I don't think commander was even a thing back then. I think it was still just Elder Dragon Highlander, where whatever colors were on your commander, Those are the only colors you could use in your deck. So by choosing a legendary artifact creature as my commander, that ruled out any basic lands. I had to go scavenging for singleton copies of any land I could find that was colorless, produced only colorless mana. And it took me a while to find enough. And the only cards I could put in the deck at the time, because they didn't have Devoid cards or Eldrazi cards that were colorless, were other artifacts. It could be artifacts or artifact creatures and lands that didn't have color. That's all I had to work with to build the deck, and it was a blast trying to get that deck just functional.
There's a question here: is who's the greatest Magic player ever? I don't know if you followed.
I don't follow the tournaments.
There's a couple that we watched a couple videos of that they were somebody used to play in tournaments got together with, was it the artist or
when we did that review of the Garfield
Papa
versus
Spocat.
no, absolutely not. The Garfield versus Finkel box set that we looked at, that they each added a product with, a guy who was a tournament champion for a couple of years or whatever. He was one of the top tournament players, played against the creator of the game. And they each got to build a deck out of a pool that was restricted to, they could only have 4 rares each.
But they're really the only ones that we know of.
2 copies of a card other than the rares. And they were playing with Ice Age Alliances. Nice little preset card pool. That was a neat product, and it was neat to see the differences in thinking between the two of them. And honestly, if he'd gotten a little bit better luck with his draws, I think Garfield could have won that. When you're just playing a few rounds, it can come down to the luck of the draw as much as anything else.
Do they have that on video somewhere? Or
it was once upon a time. I think I saw it again decades ago now, but where, I have no idea.
It'd be really neat if you could find
I'm
it.
sure
and,
it exists
do,
somewhere.
A reaction
Maybe
video
someone
to
posted it to YouTube. Who knows?
That'd be neat to do a reaction video to it if we had the
I
setup and all
suppose
that.
we've never done reaction videos. I don't even know what the
We
legalities of that are.
You have to do it through Discord or something like that, and then edit it.
But I mean, there's always so many options too. They've done so many different variations on a theme. X damage mana spells have fallen out of favor big time recently. But it used to be almost every set would come out with one. Alpha had 2, Disintegrate and Fireball. And everyone always, used Fireball as the shorthand. But
you do a voiceover.
Most of the time Disintegrate would do just as good.
Now, which football do you mean? Do you mean soccer or American football? We're not really fans of either, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's hockey was always our sport we enjoyed. Although what could be fun to do is actual reaction videos of old WWE or WWF, if you want to go back to the original.
It could be. I used to
that was
be
kind of fun to
interested in that
watch
for a little while, but that's a whole different kettle of fish. For a while I was a hockey fan, but ever since they stopped letting me see stuff because I'm out of the zone for my team, that was a major hamper on it. And the fact that now you have to buy sports plans specifically on top of that are ridiculously priced. When it used to be you could just turn into the radio and listen to it, or the odd game even just on TV. That's gotten rarer and rarer, and we don't even have regular TV anymore anyway.
Nope.
So I think that moving forward, there's just going to be less interest in it.
Yeah.
People aren't watching it as much. It's not as readily available. Kids aren't playing it as much just around the community that I can see. Of course, we're not living near one of the rinks in town, but anytime I drive by them, it's very rare that I see people out there actually playing. Yeah. I think that there's going to be a major drop-off in hockey's popularity over the coming decades.
Well,
and
especially
I think that's a shame.
Well, I mean, especially with how they're trying to spread it through the states for the National Hockey League and not really giving anything back to Canada where,
That's part of it too, but honestly, I think it's just the marketing and exposure more than anything. And now the fact that all these sports leagues, every single one of the major sports leagues, it seems, at least as far as I'm aware, are getting into these gambling apps
Yeah,
and advertising for that.
yeah, that's
You know, it, the cheerleading has never been great, but from what I heard, it's getting worse. Like if
yeah,
you're looking for family entertainment, even on that level,
yeah.
on top of the gambling ads and stuff, like professional sports, I'm just less and less interested in these days.
We tune in during playoffs when our teams are there.
Yeah, that's about it.
And
Like,
that's because they have people who kind of there's like people on YouTube or whatever that'll do reaction videos to it or whatever that you don't have to actually pay for.
well, sometimes. I mean,
But
I
it's
don't
I
know.
just don't have time to sit and waste on that stuff anymore.
That's part of it too. Life gets busy. I used to spend all kinds of time building decks and doing whatever. I used to play a lot more video games at
Sports
times
people
too.
are making 20 million make a planning, they're not making enough money.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's always been a thing too. I mean,
What do you
big
mean
business
complaining?
is big business. Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, I
You're
used to
never gonna
love
make
hockey.
everybody happy.
I was used to be really into hockey. And then what kind of drove me away too is it was the bias in the reffing. You could see it. Like they had that was the
Well,
start of it
that's
for
always
me.
been.
But you could see it where they'd have the bias, with the reffing. And I don't know. I
Yeah,
just got sick of it. And then I went to college and then, more important things came up.
well, that's a thing too. I got very busy when I was away at school. I got not only my studies, but I got involved in various campus clubs and organizations, and
Yeah.
you know, a lot of things I spent less attention. But I could still, in my dorm room at night, go on the internet, tune on to an old Montreal radio station online, and listen to the hockey game if I wanted to as I was going to bed at night.
Yeah. Or TSN.
Can't really do that
Like
anymore.
back when
Like,
TSN used
not
to
the same.
have the games online. And I don't know if you can even do that anymore because they block it out, eh?
Yeah,
So
it's
you
ridiculous.
gotta pay.
And even our local radio station, it's been probably 5 or 6 years or more. No, more than that now, I think, since they even covered the hockey games on the
Yeah.
radio
Yeah.
to listen to while you're driving or whatever. It used to be great, something when there was a hockey game on when I was on night shift or something, and I could listen to it for the first part of the shift while the game was on and, see what was going on. No, can't even do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
No, they gotta get their every single penny out of people now. They can't give you anything.
I don't know if it was the licensing fees for the radio stations or the fact that the radio station, I don't even think it's local anymore, really. Like they still have their office in town, but I don't think they broadcast out of the office in town.
I don't know.
It's based on a region now. Like, I don't know. It's weird. The way media in general has been going, it's
Yeah.
just very strange these days.
You don't even know what you can trust anymore either. It's so much fun. Technically, everything today, with some exception, is getting more crappy and less entertaining. Yet they spew a lot of garbage like fast food. No quality whatsoever.
Well, that's part of it too.
Mm.
Entertainment. I've heard that a lot of talk shows and stuff, the producers, when they have guests come on, tell them, okay, you got to keep things moving. If any one person talks for longer than 15 seconds, then our audience tunes out.
Mm.
If you're planning your content for a 15-second attention span, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Most thoughts, if they're actually thought out, take a lot longer than that.
And everything's going political now, and I don't like that. I don't want politics everywhere. It's like, can we just have entertainment for entertainment's sake?
Yeah.
Like, let's get good writers and good actors and stop pushing all your agendas on the world. Let's just have good entertainment.
Well, that's a separate issue in a way, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's yeah.
I hate the Canadians have a monopoly on syrup. That's not totally true. Doesn't Vermont have maple syrup?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. We just
But
live farther north where it's essential for the maple trees to give the sweet, sweet sap water. Also,
I think we produce
look up
for that one type of syrup. I think we produce like 85%.
Yeah. But look up the great maple syrup heist.
Oh,
where somebody stole either most of it, if not all of our reserves of maple syrup. How they did that.
Wasn't that much.
There's
but
a lot,
it
though.
It was a lot.
A lot.
There's been.
But the syrup. For me, maple syrup's got to be Canadian. It just does. But, that's one thing that I care about Canadian. Fruits and vegetables, I don't care where they come from as long as they taste good and they're fresh. Like, I'm not going to be Canada only like some people tried.
Well, that's the thing. It's recently the markets have just been getting everything's becoming more expensive, but these sort of trade disputes certainly don't help things.
I think of the pancakes
Especially
and the waffles.
When you think of fresh fruits and vegetables, there's very little that we grow ourselves in Canada. We can do a few things.
Well, they do have some like heated greenhouses.
Oh yeah,
like
we can get hothouse tomatoes. They're easier to grow locally because they're mostly water, and shipping them would be a pain and to keep them fresh.
I still would like to have a big piece of property where we have a heated greenhouse that can provide us vegetables in the wintertime and fruits and stuff like that. And then you have your outside garden in the summer.
It would be nice.
That'd be amazing.
But we have trouble enough keeping up with what little we have now in terms of.
Well, no, we'd need it. It would have to be a community project. So we'd have like a bunch of people living around, and it's all contributed for the community.
Yeah.
I think that'd be awesome.
It was nice that our apple trees did well this year.
Oh, our apple trees. Look. Apples.
Yeah, apples.
Apples.
We have 2 apple trees that produced well this year. We got Norlands in the front. They're nice and crisp and sweet.
And fall reds in the back.
Fall reds.
And that's the type. It's fall red. It's not.
They're not as sweet, but they've got a nice firm.
And our raspberries did amazing this year too.
I think these will be good for doing like apple pies or apple crisp or something.
And our cherries did very well too.
Yeah. Raspberries did well this year.
The Saskatoons did, but we didn't pick many because we were away.
We were away at the time they ripened, unfortunately. But yeah.
But yeah. But no, apples are good.
Apples are good.
The Norlands in the front are amazing though. They're so good.
They're tasty. I've been enjoying them. I've been taking 1 or 2 of the small apples to work. They're, smaller than regular apples, but they're still nice little things.
We've got some decent sized ones too, but
yeah, I mean it varies. They're much smaller than these ones, but
these ones will get bigger as the tree gets bigger.
But yeah, they're crisp and they're sweeter, so they're better just eating apple.
Yeah.
Whereas those, they're not
well,
bad.
they're good when they're ripen. They're
a little tartar and they've got more of a texture to them.
Yeah.
But I think that'd be a great baking apple.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch that we have to do, like make some applesauce and stuff like that too.
Applesauce, apple crisp, apple pie, any of that stuff would be good. So
we just got to clean out our freezer so we have space to put our baked goods. So
that too.
Either that or dice up a lot of apples and put them in the freezer.
Yeah.
You got apples? I got nuggets, eggs. Eggs. I want my own chickens. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna start packing this up now. Yeah. I don't know. If we think it out and plan ahead a little bit more, I wouldn't mind doing a couple more of these challenges. Maybe we can work in some of the Legends cards. Legends has more interesting, larger creatures, which can be nice for variety too. But yeah, I don't know.
Apple juice? Yeah, I don't have a juicer though.
Yeah, juicers are
We had one,
Another whole
and
kettle
one of the
of
kids
fish.
knocked it down the stairs, and it got broken.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, we're gonna do some baking. Maybe we can find a recipe for apple cookies or something like that, because you can dice or shred the apples. Chickens, not magic. That's a money drain.
Yeah. Well, there's pros and cons to everything. And some of it is what you enjoy, some of it's what you get more practical use out of, some of it's other things too. Some of it's what's restricted in your area, because a lot of places won't let you have chickens. But that's another thing too. We live in a small town, but it's still a town, and you gotta deal with rules.
Well, they do, like, I mean, you could probably, I think if you go and ask permission to the town and put an application in, they'd let you. But they're talking about adjusting the bylaws, so you could, but they never did come to any conclusions on that yet. Because I think, honestly, people should be able to have chickens as long as they don't have roosters in town. You know, as long as they're managing their chickens and following the rules and stuff like that. Apple wine. Did we pick up any? No, I think we got like an apple candied pear cider thing.
Something.
I don't know. I don't think we have any apple wine that we picked up in Ontario. Oh yeah, Ryan's from Ontario. I can't remember where in Ontario, but in the Kawartha area, Buckhorn, I think is the name of the town. There is a little winery called Kawartha Country Wines. Look it up. You might even be able to order and get it shipped to where you are, Ryan, in Ontario.
Could be.
It's probably cheaper than it would be for us to ship it out here, but they have the most delicious wine. It's my favorite. They also had like a Concord grape cooler, which was pretty good. But anyways, we are not promoting alcohol. I'm just saying, for the odd time we have wine, that is a good place to get it from. Yeah, apple cider. I was never really a fan of apple cider, to be honest. I was more a hot chocolate girl.
Yeah. I don't know. Growing up, we always had a lot of teas and stuff, so.
Looking up Ryan's location so I can share some apple wine.
Oh, who knows?
Yeah. I just remember Ryan's in Ontario. I just can't remember where. I'm pretty sure I've shipped him cards once or twice.
Could be.
Oh. Speaking of shipping, that's a lot harder right now, with the whole new laws and rules and things. So, anything we ship out will be minimal. So, like a few cards in an envelope, and hope and pray it gets to you. We just, yeah. I don't like the new rules, so I have to download an app to pay duties on a parcel, even if it's free. It doesn't matter. So
yeah, it's
stupid.
A lot of silliness going on these days.
I think, like, I don't know. I think if it's just a small package, and if it's just a gift, I mean, they can figure out, if they watch how people are shipping things out and how frequently, they can figure out whether it's like somebody cheating the system or not. But
yeah.
Anyways, so Thursday is probably the next day we're streaming. Today, to this point, it will be the Destined Rivals booster box, unless we are able to get our hands on the new set, which, it depends whether we go to the city or not before then, because there are a couple shops in the city that might have some early.
It's unlikely.
I could order some from Toronto that would be here in time, but not in time, but for next time.
Wouldn't say it's never happened, but yeah, it's very unlikely.
I did get 2 ETBs and a booster box of Phantasmal Flames on pre-order. So provided that I don't use my credit card, we're good. That's covered. Pepper Ridge Farm remembers. Pepper Ridge Farm remembers? Oh, remember when Netflix had no ads and it was like $7?
Mm,
Yeah, we
Barely.
discontinued Netflix back when they made some questionable choices for movies involving children. And yeah, ever since then we just canceled Netflix because we don't think children should be used that way. Anyways, that was kind of the thing that drew the line for me with Netflix. And then I don't know what else happened. There's other things too that were going on that kind of, yeah. And then Disney Plus, they had some issues with Disney Plus too that we ended up canceling. It just, most of the movies were crap.
Not that we're trying to be political or anything. It's just,
No, it's just the quality was,
a lot of the things they've been coming out with haven't been impressive.
And the writing's just bad now. Like, there's no good writing anymore. You get the odd gem that comes out. So, when that happens, then we'll just, maybe get it for a month and watch it and then cancel again. Like, we have Amazon Prime that we use because, it kind of has a lot of stuff. And not Netflix, but YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes, Sail the Seven Seas. Sail the Seven Seas. I don't know. We don't even go to theaters anymore because good movies are too far and few between.
Speaking of Sailing the Seven Seas, since I'm coming up on the page, my random, I've got cards like Oubliette here that I have play sets of. Got 4 copies. It's a playable card. Used to be one of the more reliable creature removal spells for black, even if it was, only on your turn. Makes sense that I have a play set because I used to use it a lot. Then I've got other random things, like Merchant Ship. Not a great card, but back when it wasn't so expensive to find anything Arabian Nights, I grabbed a play set of these, thinking one day it would be fun just to make a seagoing deck, just with ships. So I'd use these, maybe a war barge, some woo warships, pirate ships, merchant ships, Ziki Reef pirates, whatever was just like boat and ship themed stuff. And I never quite got the deck made. So I have no idea what I'm going to do with these things. This is a weird creature. And I got a play set of 4.
Beautiful cards.
It is a nice
These
looking
bring
card.
back memories. Makes
it is a nice
me miss my
looking
collection,
card.
says Lost Hero Games.
Yeah.
Welcome in, Lost Hero Games. How
Honestly,
are you doing tonight?
It's a weird card. It is a good looking card. Some of these cards stink. Why on earth do they make such a bad card? But why is the art so good?
Right?
Like,
yeah.
They put a lot of detail
good. I hope you both are
into
doing
a
good.
stupid bottle of fish liver oil.
Yeah, we're doing okay. Wash them.
I don't know.
Yeah, this binder's what are the sets that you have in this binder? Like, not the full sets, but what sets are?
Whatever I have of Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, Arabian Nights, Antiquities, and Legends.
Okay.
So the first 3 expansions
but the English Legends,
early
not the
editions
Italian
of the core
Legends, right?
set. No, not Italian Legends. I've got Italian Legends elsewhere. I don't want to put Italian Legends in here for the deck battles just because I don't want to have to deal with a foreign language version of things. Just makes things more complicated.
Yeah, so this is some of his oldest stuff in these ones.
Yeah, and again, all these sets were around before I started playing and were rare enough and old enough
I'll kiss you goodnight in a minute.
that they weren't even around in our play group. Like when I started playing, we'd already missed Revised in the Dark. but they were still around. Occasionally, the shops would get them in, and they'd be
Much love and other things for
more
the deck building,
expensive.
Barry.
And there were other people in our play group that did have
Mm.
cards from Revised and from the Dark. But anything older than that was very, very difficult to ever come across. So, well, thanks. Yeah, thanks, absolutely, Founder, for coming out and building us a deck. Thank you, Ryan, for helping us play. And yeah, this was fun, I thought. I'm sorry you didn't have a good time with it. It's really tough when you don't get your lands.
That's okay. I have fun just kind of, I don't know, being dramatic too to a point. And it's fun to hang out with everybody else who shows up. We appreciate you guys. We have a lot of fun. There are times where I can defeat Papa Spocat.
Oh, it happens for sure.
And most of those were times where we were just doing the pack battles. Bad, Papa. Bad. But no, like I said before, if I can win just one game against Papa Spocat, it doesn't matter how many games I lose before that, I will cherish that one win.
Yeah.
Like I remember sitting at the card shop waiting on the Dark to come in. Played way back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little attention to detail too, like these Urza's lands, they were commons.
Yeah. Sorry, the light is a little reflective, and
yeah,
I'm gonna try and go down a little bit more.
They were commons, but they went through and they had 4 different arts for each. I've only got 2 of each of the arts here, but they had a mountain background for the tower. They had a islandy background for the tower. They had the forest, the plains. They had 4 different mines, 4 different power plants. Most of the set wasn't like that. They did more of that when they got to Fallen Empires, and I love the flavor. Now they're bringing back alternate arts, but it's not regular. They do a special art that's rarer and harder to find, or for a scene thing or something like that. I used to like it when you'd have 2 cards that you found that would go together and the art would continue. That's
Falling
like
Empires was bad for some cards having different arts.
In some ways, but you got to pick the art that you like the best. I know lots of people who would pick the Hymn to Torak with the Howling Wolf. Just
is that Falling Empires? Is that the one you still have like sealed packs of?
I still have some Fallen Empire sealed packs. Yes, about half a booster box worth. So
yeah.
And then again, the Homelands, I have some, but I haven't decided whether I want to crack that Homelands box or not. The shrink wrap on it is in really bad shape. So, while it's still technically sealed, it looks awful.
Yeah.
And, Homelands, I don't know what a booster box of Homelands is even worth these days.
Can you even find prices on that?
Oh, I'm sure you could if you looked it up. If I had to guess, it's probably around $600 Canadian, because last time I checked, the packs were going for like $10 each, which is, still pretty low for older sets, but that's because Homelands wasn't that great. Fallen Empires, last I checked, was closer to $20 a pack. Who knows? They always go up and down. So, but
so eBay, and I don't know whether it's Canadian or not. Anywhere from like $600 to $1,000, depending.
Yeah, well, like I said, $600 is probably more normal. But yeah, like these legendary lands, Caracas was always one of the better. The other ones, most of them saw play, maybe not Polaria as much, unless you were just looking for something different to throw in your deck.
Yeah.
But, some of the choices were always questionable. Back in the Elder Dragon Highlander deck, you just played with contingencies. If you knew Caracas could be out there, so you would have a strip mine in your deck to take care of it. Or just realize that you're going to have to play around it with your commander to a certain extent. You don't base your whole strategy or your deck on just the commander, because you might not be able to rely on that. So,
but could you smack Sauron in the face with Spider-Man holding the Buster sword way back then? I don't think so, says Alias.
You could always do your own custom arts on other cards, though, and basically do the same thing if you really wanted to. So, but yeah, I love the old art and the old flavor. cards they made that were intentionally designed for multiplayer long before, Commander was a thing. Here's the Chains of Mephistopheles that would royally mess up some of those strategies that were based around drawing your deck out to deck your opponent. Things like that. The classic boomerang catch-all for whatever problem you came up against. And while nobody else liked it, back before I could ever find a Psionic Blast, there was good old Psychic Purge, a little common from Legends that I was able to find a copy of when I was a kid. That and Force Spike. And just people wouldn't expect your blue deck to be able to do a point of damage wherever it was most strategic. Sometimes it was a little bit of fun. And if your opponent was playing Hymn to Thorax or something like that, if you ever pulled that out on them and got to do 5 damage to something, they were just shaking their heads. So sometimes playing something that's not great but is unexpected can be worthwhile. There's the Presence of the Master. Again, me as a physics student, especially having the picture of Einstein on the card was just fun. And you want to see people consternation, wondering what to do about that? Pull out a Divine Intervention. They'd probably banned it, but I don't see why. It's just a fun card.
Alias says, imagine bringing a legacy deck to a tourney and to get beaten by a SpongeBob deck.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the creatures are so power crap now that it wouldn't surprise me. I remember the art on Whirling Dervish here. I didn't ever see original copies. I just saw the 4th edition ones, or 5th edition, or whatever it was, where it was reprinted, the reprint versions that they put in the core set. So just based on the art alone, I knew it was a reprint. I thought this was an Arabian Nights card. But no, it's from Legends. But yeah, just the art styles are just so much more real. Like, not realistic, but just simple. They're not as fantasy, It looks like it could be sort of a, historical theme. Oh yeah, and speaking of Einstein, this was what was it, Copernicus, the whole Eureka thing, but they put the E equals MC square on there, so also a take to the physics background.
But magic is fantasy theme.
It is fantasy theme, but fantasy doesn't have to be over the top fantasy. It can be very grounded fantasy. That was one of the things I liked best back in 4th edition, was the elements of it that tied into real world. So whether that was just, the basic lands. I know what mountains and forests look like. That's kind of what I expected. Plains, these things were around my house. We didn't have mountains as much until we moved out here, but the other types, yeah, I know what these things look like. And then you have cards like Lightning Bolt and Grizzly Bears, very natural things that can play into fantasy too, absolutely, and it makes perfect sense. It also gives you a benchmark to gauge. You got something that's sort of realistic like that. It gives you something to gauge what other creatures' power is like. If a Grizzly Bear is a 2/2 creature, then it makes sense that most humans were 1/1s. Unless you were like an armored knight who's trained to fight, then you're a 2/2. A giant, something bigger and stronger than a bear, could be a 3/3. A dragon is a 5/5. It put more realism on the scale in these other fantasy elements, and I really liked that because it just made it easier to gauge.
Alias says, I could forgive Blasphemy Warhammer, Final Fantasy, and ATLA. I'm not sure what that one is. But spaceships, Marvel superheroes, SpongeBob ruined my immersion.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that just seem to be getting more and more ridiculous, to be frank. So, hopefully they get a handle on that and get back to what the game's about before it goes too far overboard. It
You know,
might already be too far overboard.
I can understand them doing some,
but I'd like to see some correction at least.
like an odd set once or twice a year, maybe.
Yeah,
and
they've
then
already had 3, and then again, that's not counting when they do the what do they call them? The
Secret Lairs.
Yeah, secret layers. Like that's another whole thing. They put in even more.
I still was very, very happy to get the Princess Bride Secret Lair.
I know. I wish I could have got the Monty Python one, but
Yeah.
you know, gone before you ever get a chance. This is another one they reprinted.
Here, sorry, that's a little blurry.
Zera Arian, at the costume fair. Little 2/1 flyer, sometimes useful as a creature, but mainly just a card draw engine that was a little bit more efficient than but more fragile than something like Jumonde Tome.
But Princess Bride and Monty Python are on theme. But yeah, well,
more on theme.
more
at
on
least.
theme. Yeah, I still think they should do a Willow one. I think.
And
Willow
again,
would be
one thing I
awesome.
appreciated with the Assassin's Creed, I didn't know the games. I don't know the games worth beans, but the fact that they tied into some historical characters.
Okay, closer. Put over your face because
Sorry.
your face is making it.
So you got some real world characters again that appreciate stuff that I appreciate. There's Cleopatra, Leonardo da Vinci, Socrates. I don't know if they had more sort of Roman themed or whatever. Like cards like that have some sort of real world grounding, I appreciate. I don't think they do that enough, but they apparently try and keep away from it. So it is what it is. What else? There's that ugliness.
Yeah.
There's another different sort of real world tie-in. All Hallows Eve. It's an Italian version, but
there you go.
Coming up another month or so, we'll be getting close. And, I kind of like that too.
One Magic set, I like the Visions.
Visions was a nice thematic set. That whole block, I think they did a decent job on. Starting off with Mirage into Visions. Weatherlight was when they started to introduce their characters, which carried over into Tempest block. So with Weatherlight, you got the Starship Weatherlight, which not Starship, the Planeswalker ship, whatever they called it, Sky ship. And
I could use a Stardust Secret Lairs as alias. You know what actually could be a good set to do, or a good show to do a set on? It could be Firefly.
Oh, who knows? Here's a Fish Island Draconius. I used to love this card, just for its flavor. It was never very good. But then, just the typing, the island fish, stirred my imagination as soon as I saw Fetchlands release. Or you can go get an island from your deck and put it into play. And I'm sitting there looking at that island fish going, now there's a combo. Pop your fetch land to go get the humongous island fish. It's too bad about that triple blue upkeep, or that could be really strong. But of course, they errated it and made it so that wouldn't work. It's a shame. Because things like that is what really gets your blood pumping. And your creative juices thinking. I remember when I was a kid, I used to love this guy. Even though it's Chronicles version. Good old Dakon Blackblade. Power and toughness equal to your lands. And when games used to drag, oh boy, sometimes that got pretty big. It was before I even paid attention to the artists' names much. At least to recognize some of them. Some of their styles you got to know, especially from the core set. By Richard Kane Ferguson came a little bit later. And then there's some of the dual lands and fetch lands. Again, used to be the core of most people's collections as they tried to build up their collection.
The light. Sorry.
Yeah, well, it's not a big deal. People have seen them before. But there's some oddities, like I got a German Tundra there, and this was always a neat pickup, especially growing up near Quebec. Getting a French volcanic island with a black border. Most of the foreign
there we go.
foreign language dual lands I picked up were white bordered.
Sorry,
I only ever saw a couple of black bordered ones, and the fact I was able to pick one up was kind of nice, especially since Volcanic Island was the one that they didn't make it in alpha, so the only other way to get a black bordered one was from beta. So there's that. But yeah, dual lands, great for deck building, no matter how you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Other random stuff. You know, something simple and sort of real worldy to good old moat. Don't have an English one, but even in Italian, it's a simple enough card that once you explain to people what it does, you know, or if they know it, because it's a famous enough card,
Dual lands are awesome. Very essential.
Sometime. I don't think they're essential, but they're certainly nice, and they're sort of the optimum version that everyone prefers because they were the original and the best. And here's some of these sort of oddities, and again, other than there's one of my first 4 Magic cards. In high school, other people were playing, and one day I found 4 cards inside a desk that somebody had just left there. 3 islands, all with the same picture, and this. That was my introduction to the game. Just, okay, what is this? It costs a water droplet, apparently. It's a sorcery, but it returns an artifact from your graveyard to your hand. So it introduced me to a couple of card types in one, and I knew islands existed, obviously, so I knew how to pay for it. But before I ever knew about creatures, I learned about sorceries and artifacts. So, probably why I've got such a warped view of the game, since it's based around creatures, really. There's the good old If Biff Afreet art that they put on the revised printing of Serendib Afreet. So, most people, when they think of Serendib Afreet, probably think of this art, which is ironic since that's not the real art for them. It wasn't. I actually like this art better than the actual art for Serendib Afreet from Arabian Nights. And there's the infamous German Drudge Skeleton Swamp. It's a Drudge Skeleton. It just looks like a swamp. So when you play it, and if someone's not paying attention, it's camouflaged.
All right. Well, it is after midnight, so
It is. I should get to bed.
Yeah, well, we
We
all
all
should.
should.
Unless you are somewhere watching where it is, earlier in the day and you're just getting up.
Little banding promo from
That's
Dragon Con.
Sorry, that way.
Sorry. I've probably been doing that for every card I tried to show off.
No. So,
Anyway,
anyways, I think we're going to call it a night now.
I think so.
We're dwindled down to just a few people, but we appreciate you for sticking out this long and joining us. Papa Spocat demolished us. So, anyways, we will see you guys later
Thanks
this
for
week.
giving me a chance to pull out my old cards and share them and play with them and have fun. So, if you like doing this again, we can try and do it again someday. And like I say, tweak which cards we're using from. Yeah. Anyway, look forward. I hope that some of you will join us for the Homelands 30th anniversary discussion in a
We should
couple
get that
weeks.
stream set up a lot earlier so that
We
we have
should.
it so people can see well in advance. So,
Anyway,
thanks for giving us a chance to see that beautiful beard.
it's a little shorter than it was, but it'll grow again, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We will see you soon. Thursday, our regular time, likely, unless something comes up.
Probably Destined Rivals. So
Probably doesn't rival. I can't wait to open that booster box. I don't care what the price is of that booster box. Apparently, it's going up.
we got it to open.
We got this one to open, though.
We're going to
So,
try and fill out our set a little bit more. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we get another SIR beside the one we've already got, and some
And-
more of the other art cards and
I would
everything
prefer a
else.
different one, even though we got the best one already.
Yeah, so would
So-
I.
But just take it into a shop and be like, hey, I'll trade you this for a booster box. See if they'll take it. You never know. You might have somebody be like, I really want this card. Okay.
I doubt it.
But all right. See you soon. Have a great night. Thanks for hanging out.
Yep. Thanks for joining us.
Bye for now.